Balance of Nature success story.
I've looked at other supplements out there, and they don't have what Balance of Nature has.
Balance of Nature really was the game changer. I'm serious, it works.
Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off plus $10 off any additional sets as a preferred customer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-506-6041. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-506-6041 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-506-6041 to see if you qualify. That's 800-506-6041.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads. It is heavy on the outbound side of the Stevenson between Pulaski and Central. That is due to construction in the two right lanes, should be picked up closely near 5 a.m. or a little thereafter. On the Kennedy, looks good, 17 minutes O'Hare into downtown. Going in on the Eisenhower, no reported problems there, but we do see delays outbound I-57 between 159th and 175th Street. Roadwork blocking the right lane. Skyway is open. On the 4, no troubles. Going over to the tollways, Tri-State is clear, Reagan looks good, and there are no problems to report on the Veterans Memorial Tollway as well. Traffic is the surface of Turnkey.pro. Turnkey's real-time threat hunting defends you, your employees, and your customers from vulnerable cyber attacks. Shield your complete infrastructure from malware, phishing scams, and other threats. Turnkey has solutions to protect your business. Visit turnkey.pro. Chicago's Morning Answer starts next, but now a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Clouds and sun, a hot day. Thunderstorm around this afternoon. Could see some gusty wind and small hail. High 95. Thunderstorm early this evening, otherwise clearing. Low tonight 72. Partly sunny, a thunderstorm for tomorrow. High 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Have you saved enough? What are you going to do with Social Security? What will your taxes look like in retirement? Scott Tucker believes retirement planning should be easy, and you should be able to get all the information you need in one place. That's why Scott created the Retirement Decoded Toolkit, a comprehensive resource for your retirement. In it, you'll find a copy of his latest book, Escape Illinois: Should I Stay or Should I Go? This book will provide insight on taxes, Social Security, income, and more. To get your free Retirement Decoded Toolkit, text KIT, K-I-T, to 847-474-3888, or go to retirementdecoded.com. Now, in addition to the book, you'll also receive resources on retirement's most common concerns. Get your Retirement Decoded Toolkit from Scott Tucker right now by texting KIT to 847-474-3888, or go to retirementdecoded.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC. A registered investment advisor, this is a paid placement.
Let me ask you this. Are you not able to enjoy this summer as much as you want because of joint pain? Well, this is the best time for being outdoors, but not if your knees, shoulders, back, or hips are hurting. Hey, it's Amy Jacobson, and don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here from our good friends at QC Kinetics. Call them today. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Walk, run, hike, play golf, move again pain-free. So stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. They're open on Saturdays, now with new locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955. That's 312 809-5955.
Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, a family-owned restaurant, a Chicago family favorite for over 40 years. Why? Because they're known for sub sandwiches the size of your forearm. No joke. Their 6-inch sub has more meat and cheese in it than any foot long in an Irish neighborhood. These sandwiches are iconic, famous for their homemade Italian beef, meatballs, burgers, and of course, delicious Italian subs loaded with mortadella, cabagol, salami, provolone, and their own secret sauce called Love Potion Number 9. This vinegar and oil dressing is famous on its own. Both Augustino's locations boast walls covered in authentic rock and roll memorabilia and artifacts, all celebrating their love for good old-fashioned rock and roll. Augie's is a feast for your eyes and your stomach. Dine in or carry out. Bring the family or the team. Plus, Augie's caters corporate meetings, parties, and celebrations. Don't make it yourself. Make it happen with Augustino's. Go to Augustinos.com for locations and menus. That's Augustinos.com.
Life is complicated enough without having to worry about your financial concerns when you retire. In a perfect world, your retirement funds would just be there when you reach retirement age.
But it's not a perfect world, and you really need to look ahead and be proactive to manage the dollars you've earned.
The team at Wealth Management Group can help. Uncomplicate your financial future and talk to the team at Wealth Management Group today.
Call 833-WMG-PLAN. That's 833-WMG-PLAN. Or investwithWMG.com.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel, home to the biggest shows on TV, like Brandon Tatum weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, followed by Charlie Kirk at 7. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free, now on Zumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Zumo.
Potholes don't care. Whether you drive an imported sports car or luxury SUV, Chicagoland Potholes will get you and take a toll on alloy wheels. If you have scratched, bent, or damaged alloy wheels, don't buy new ones. Just call the Alloy Repair Specialists. Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists can make your wheels like new again. Over 200 5-star Google reviews say a lot. Things like, "These guys are amazing," and they'll take care of your alloy wheels. Offering top-of-the-line repair and OEM replacement wheels, why buy new when you can fix it? Even change the color of your wheels to update your car style. Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists work with many car dealerships, reconditioning their used cars to help them get in showroom shape, and can also do this for your vehicle. From powder coating, machining, remanufacturing, straightening to welding, Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists do amazing quality repairs. Call or text today, 224-385-0432, 224-385-0432. That's 224-385-0432, or awrswheelrepair.com.
Our communities deserve to have their tax dollars spent efficiently. All over Chicagoland, there is an increased need for vital projects like wetland improvements, enhancing water quality, or stormwater mitigation to protect homes against devastating floods. Too often, public officials find themselves at the mercy of outside advisors when planning, budgeting, and building these projects. And let's face it, they rarely meet deadlines or budgets, leaving our communities vulnerable. There's a better way forward. Control Point Engineering. At Control Point Engineering, we're more than just civil engineers. We're champions of quality and efficiency with over 40 years of hands-on experience. Teaming up with Earthworks Land Development, we're breaking down barriers and streamlining processes. Say goodbye to disjointed partnerships and hello to seamless collaboration. From conceptualization to construction, Control Point Engineering delivers everything you need in one unified package, saving you time and money. Visit ControlPointLLC.com today to learn about our successful projects all across Chicagoland. Again, that's ControlPointLLC.com.
Quick delivery service. What do you need delivered today?
Hi, I'm trying to work through a last-minute to-do list for my boss. Can you deliver a hard drive to the Loop in Chicago?
We can deliver that today.
Okay, can you deliver 20 boxes to a client in Rockford?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver 12 pallets of tile to our customer in Naperville?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver a large envelope to Northbrook?
We can deliver that today.
Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke. Can you...
We cannot deliver that.
Quick Delivery Service delivers your package no matter the size. More than just a messenger service, Quick Delivery Service is a messenger and trucking service that can also provide scheduled routes for your daily delivery or your air shipment. Trucks are equipped to handle the load and provide ground-level service for same-day delivery. The Quick Delivery Service team of safe, licensed professionals can provide quick door-to-door service for your special delivery. QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. We deliver that today. But we don't deliver this.
For over 10 years, the award-winning KWCC Construction has been building a better future locally and throughout the Midwest, constructing with detailed planning and execution, completing projects safely, timely, and with transparency. If you've ever visited the Wilder Park Promenade along the Riverwalk in Aurora or driven past the recently revitalized Copley Hospital, you're looking at the quality construction of KWCC. Maybe you've seen the adaptive reuse of 80 South River Street in downtown Aurora, which now includes residences and businesses that have revitalized the area. No matter the project, KWCC Construction offers services from indoors to outdoors, conception to completion. In fact, KWCC was recognized as 2022's Best Project in Landscape and Urban Development. Highly recommended. A general contracting company you can count on. That's KWCC. To request a proposal for your project, visit kwccinc.com. That's kwccinc.com.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. The Biden administration recently made a big splash about the president's supposed mandate to reduce asylum claims from illegal immigrants at the border. But it's important to look not at what the administration is saying, but at what it's actually doing. President Biden is now offering a path to citizenship for hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants married to U.S. citizens. It would be one of the most sweeping immigration programs in decades. It's effectively amnesty. This is in addition to the administration closing more than 350,000 asylum cases since 2022. That decision has removed any requirement for illegal immigrants claiming asylum to touch base with authorities. They can travel throughout our country without being tracked or risking deportation. So don't be fooled. The Biden administration has no interest in addressing illegal immigration. Claims to the contrary are just election year theatrics.
Tune in every Saturday afternoon at 3 for the Money Hour Radio, brought to you by Pierre Shale Financial Group. Learn estate and tax planning strategies, choosing the right IRA, and the ever-important decision when to take Social Security benefits. When you have retirement in sight, sound decisions are critical. Tune in to the Money Hour Radio every Saturday afternoon at 3, right here on AM 560, brought to you by Pierre Shale Financial Group.
Advisor services offered through Pierre Shale Financial Group Incorporated. Pierre Shale Financial Group Incorporated is a registered independent investment advisor.
At Catholic Cemeteries of Chicago, we honor traditions, celebrate faith, and cherish memories. Take an active role in establishing your legacy for future generations by pre-planning your final arrangements today. Alleviate your loved ones of future financial burden. Lock in today's prices and take advantage of interest-free financing and no hidden fees. Visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org or call 708-236-5490 to schedule a free consultation today.
When your home or business has an insurance claim, the next step is very important. The claim process with insurance can be tedious, hard to understand, and difficult to navigate. You need someone working for you. You need a licensed claim adjuster. Why? The insurance company will send out their inspectors that work for them, get paid by them, and represent them, not you.
This is Dan Lights from Crosscom. We inspect your property, file your claim, negotiate the damages, and maximize your settlement with your insurance company. If we complete the repairs approved by your insurance company, our service is free. Crosscom Public Adjusters has turned denied claims into approved claims. We've also increased insurance claims anywhere from 23 to 1,000%. We are licensed by the Department of Insurance and work in Illinois, Northwest Indiana, and Southern Wisconsin. Crosscom Public Adjusters, 630-871-5500. Online at CrosscomInc.com. That's CrosscomInc.com. Crosscom, building trust for over 20 years.
I'm Shalom Klein. Join me each week for the Get Down to Business radio show. The show is packed with ideas that will inspire as you search for best practices to grow your business. Whether you are an experienced entrepreneur or just learning the ropes, Get Down to Business will tackle the issues affecting your everyday work life.
Get Down to Business is covered by Tom Mirabali, independent producer for Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois.
Listen each week to Get Down to Business with me, Shalom Klein. Heard Sunday afternoons at 6 right here on AM 560.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy's local reaction. I always love when the Chicago Press Corps localizes national and international stories, what it means to Chicago. So Sarah Schulte over at ABC7 did the localizing the news edition for the immigration announcement, the amnesty announcement from Biden yesterday that was much anticipated for the undocumented spouses of American citizens. Local reaction. The great thing with the local reaction stories from the government press corps is the parameters of discussion are the width of an eye of a needle. Was what the government did great, or was it, without qualification, or was it great, but it needs to go further? There's never any opposition to the official position. And so you get the sad sack stories of a Doris Aguirre from Honduras.
For the past 22 years, Doris Aguirre has carried with her the fear of being sent back to Honduras, even though the 57-year-old's husband is a United States citizen, and so is one of their daughters. But like millions of undocumented workers, Aguirre came to the U.S. without a visa.
It's very hard to live here when you don't have any document.
Aguirre has worked as an independent cleaning lady, but today her future looks more promising with President Biden's new immigration policy that gives undocumented people married to U.S. citizens a pathway to citizenship and protects them from deportation. Chicago Congressman Chuy Garcia attended today's White House announcement.
By doing this, the president has signaled that this country has benefited from the contributions of immigrants, that they deserve a pathway.
Deserve. There's that word again.
Yeah. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
If you come into this country illegally, even if you're invited to, it's still an invitation to break the law. And you don't get prosecuted for or suffer any consequences for an extended period of time, then all of a sudden you become deserving of exemption.
Congratulations, you didn't get arrested for anything.
You deserve
to stay here.
You deserve an exemption from the rule of law. Alondra Segura. She's got even a more tragic story. She's a dreamer. Okay. She was a dreamer without a college degree, but she's got 2 businesses. Oh. What about her?
The announcement is bittersweet for dreamer Alondra Segura, who does not have a college degree, but the 22-year-old owns 2 businesses.
I have my own home. I have my own family here. I pay taxes. I pay to the IRS, to the state, to everybody.
Right. So,
yeah,
she deserves a pathway to citizenship, right? Deserves. And, of course, you round out this local reaction to the federal policy decision by the president. The local reaction. What would a local reaction, particularly on this issue, be without dyed-in-the-wool Marxist revolutionary Emma Lozano to comment?
Segura, Aguirre, and community activist Pastor Emma Lozano say Biden's announcement does not go far enough.
We're in prayer for all those who have been in the struggle, living here for decades, that won't be covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me that.
Gosh, I miss Slim Coleman. Deserve. The local reaction. Is there any opposition to anything that this president has done with respect to border security? You wouldn't know it to watch the Chicago Press Corps give you the local reaction, tell you what to think. Tell you what the right position is, reinforce the state's position. That's what ABC, CBS, NBC, the affiliates, obviously Winnetka talking to Wilmette, and the daily propaganda rags. Local reaction. Just rinse and repeat what you're told from the federal government. The big government press corps, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Coming up at 5:38, we'll talk a bit of the substance of what the big guy, Mr. 10% President Biden, announced yesterday, and get your local reaction, since you're not going to be able to offer local reaction to that policy anywhere else but here, 538.
But now let's head into the newsroom and say hello once again to Crystal Blue, who's in for Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 78 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Partly cloudy today with a slight chance for showers, high near 93. A pallet company is destroyed following a fire on Chicago's west side. The blaze broke out last night at the business near Hubbard and Damon. The flames consumed the building and about 20,000 pallets stored inside. 2 firefighters suffered minor injuries while battling the fire. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. The deputy police chief of suburban Burr Ridge is on unpaid leave following a DUI arrest earlier this year in Virginia. Ryan Husarek was arrested in April while in Virginia for an FBI training course. The 19-year veteran of the department was suspended without pay for 40 days earlier this month. He will also face an internal investigation. Former President Trump's campaign is denying reports he will commute from Chicago when the Republican National Convention is held in Milwaukee next month. ABC 7 News cited sources as confirming Trump planned to stay in the Windy City during the convention. The Republican National Convention will get underway July 15th. News is a service of Health Insurance Mentors. Are you 65 or older and thinking about Medicare? Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you'll ever have. Call Stephen Tucker today for free Medicare advice. Visit healthinsurancementors.com or call 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551 or healthinsurancementors.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Brandon Tatum explains his view on the war in Israel.
To be honest, we need to stay out of it. We either need to support Israel or stay out of it. Israel is on the right side of it. These other people are devil, in my opinion. Not every single person, right? Because there's people caught up in the middle of that stuff. Just like in America. Joe Biden is the president, but most people don't believe in this fool. You know, I mean, I think most Americans are sick of what he's doing.
The Officer Tatum Show, weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
That's some good stuff, I'll tell you. It really works.
I'm just really pleased with your product. I've been using it now for 3 years.
I've been taking it for a while now. I feel better. I live on the Balance of Nature. I plan on taking it forever.
I've been a very happy customer. I like the product, and I'm telling a lot of people about it.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, it's Sean Thompson here. You know when you're at the mall and you go to those directory signs, the one that says you are here? Well, imagine that directory is a map of your preparation for retirement. Would you know where you are? My friend Tom Fortino at Alpha Wealth Group is offering you the opportunity to not only find yourself on that map, but also find the route toward a successful retirement. He calls it his retirement roadmap. You'll get an analysis of where you are right now, whether you're at risk if the market drops again, whether you're taking advantage of the latest tax changes, and much, much more. To get an idea where you stand on the road to retirement, call my friend Tom Fortino at the Alpha Wealth Group today at 630-934-1855. That's 630-934-1855. And ask for the retirement roadmap or visit alphawealthgroup.com. And don't forget to listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings right here on AM 560, The Answer at 9 a.m.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
Join me, Dennis Prager, on an unforgettable Bible cruise to the Caribbean, November 29th to December 8th, 2024. Imagine 9 days of basking in the sun, surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. Amid profound conversations, I'll share about the Bible and my insights into current events in a way that I believe you will really enjoy. Secure your spot on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure by calling 855-565-5519 or booking online at PragerBibleCruise.com.
Guys, it's summer and time to do more outdoors, but do you feel out of energy, lacking motivation and mental focus? It could be low testosterone. Low T affects millions of men and happens naturally. The solution, testosterone replacement therapy at Low T Center. It starts with a quick test and results are fast. Don't wait. Take control of your health today. And now Low T Center is offering a free initial test. So if you're over 30, schedule a visit at lowtcenter.com today. Offers good until July 6th. That's lowtcenter.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code EARN for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code EARN.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads. Starting with an accident westbound 8094 at Calumet Avenue. That is taking out the right lane stop-and-go traffic from Indianapolis Boulevard. Then westbound 80 at Gauger, there's an accident in the left lane eastbound that is slowing Richards to Cherry Hill. Also slow traffic outbound I-57 between 159th and 175th Street. That's roadwork in the left lane. Inbound Stevenson starting to back up Ashland into the Ryan. It is 21 minutes in, 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive back out at 22. Elsewhere, pretty quiet. Edens, Kennedy, Eisenhower, all good. So far, so good on the Stevenson and the Skyway, and the tollways are in good shape as well. Traffic is a service of Dan and Amy 24/7. You can now enjoy uninterrupted programming from Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson around the clock, all day, every day, including daily replays of Chicago's Morning Answer. Listen now at danandamy247.com. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Hot day today, intervals of sun and clouds, a thunderstorm in the area. Gusty winds and hail could come with that, high 95. Thunderstorm in spots early this evening, then clearing tonight, low 72. Partly sunny, warm thunderstorm for tomorrow, the high 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy talking about big guy, Mr. 10%, President Biden taking the anticipated executive action after a couple of weeks of trial ballooning, this move he made yesterday, which is to provide a pathway to citizenship for 500,000 people in this country illegally, but who are married to a U.S. citizen. The new path to citizenship for an estimated 500,000 migrants will apply to anyone who's lived in the country for 10 years, married to an American, and poses no security or criminal threat. Those who qualify will be shielded from deportation and provided work permits and 3 years to apply for citizenship. Some 50,000 children of these spouses will also be eligible. It's DACA deja vu. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line.
It's going to allow families to remain in the United States while the undocumented spouse works towards becoming that citizen. So I don't know, they still live in fear of being deported, especially when they see around them people who are recent illegal arrivals who are committing horrific crimes and are not getting deported. So, I mean, have you... Remember, it was years ago, people would hide in a church because for fear of deportation, and back when we had law and order. And so I don't feel like anybody has been living like that, fearing deportation.
No.
Because this is a clown world we live in, and there's no law and order.
The statute that the big guy is using to
buy the Hispanic vote?
Okay. The statute he's using to advance this policy, it has sort of the same constitutional problem that, his predecessor, his bestie, Barack.
They're like family, don't you know?
Same constitutional infirmity that his Dreamer gambit from a decade ago had. The statute specifies that parole in place, which allows DHS to allow illegal immigrants into the United States while they apply for citizenship. It's being bandied about like this is a customary thing and it can be done in a blanketed way, but that's not really what the law reads. In fact, the law reads it can be used only on a case-by-case basis for urgent humanitarian reasons or significant public benefit. I don't know how 500,000 or 550,000, when you include the kids, 550,000 people being allowed parole in place satisfies that threshold of a case-by-case basis for urgent humanitarian reasons or significant public benefit. Case by case, even if you thought this, if you wanted to argue this was significant public benefit. So this could be and will be challenged in the courts, I'm sure, but it will proceed. And I mean, again, if the Constitution is no barrier, then federal injunction will be no barrier. I mean,
well, he had to do something now to get back, I think, the Hispanic vote. I mean, he's not losing, but Trump has made tremendous gains in the black community, and he's making gains in the Hispanic community.
Well, that's a very superficial understanding of the Latino vote, number one. And I think there's probably a little bit more sophisticated than that, because once you start parsing generations, how far removed are you from being a citizen? Attitudes about border security change substantially. I don't think this is about the Hispanic vote per se, like an appeal to people who can vote, who are Latino. I think this is about the expanding and changing the composition of the electorate and generating fealty among another 550,000 people who you've given this pathway. I think it's about the 550, and I think it's about white suburban women, angry white, female leftists, the awfuls in the suburbs. It's not moving working class Latinos back to Biden, if that's what he or anybody else thinks.
Well, he was all excited about it yesterday.
These couples have been raising families, sending their kids to church and school, paying taxes.
And they deserve, he went on to say that they deserve to become citizens. There's your favorite word again. Yep.
The other thing we find out too, remember this, this is to even things out a little bit, because he moved with such alacrity to crack down on illegal border crossings just the other week. So this is to balance, I give you something that is ephemeral over here, you who think that, you who are center left, who are a little uncomfortable with open borders. So I give you this fleeting executive order. And then on the other side, my actual constituency, being the good company man I am to the new Marxist Party, I give you something real. It's not as much as you want, but it's another step in the direction of protecting those congressional seats that we'll lose from blue states and urban centers in those blue states if we don't get an infusion of people that will be state dependents in one form or the other. But since that crackdown in scare quotes occurred, a New York Post reporting 42,000 migrants have illegally crossed. That's like in 8 days.
Yeah, and smugglers are still advertising their menu on different ways to cross into America. If you pay us this much, we'll get you through Eagle Pass. I mean, nothing's changed at all.
No, it hasn't. Jerry in Norridge.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy.
Hello.
I really enjoy your show every morning.
Thank you.
Thanks. This executive action that Joe Biden just signed, and the voter registration forms that they're handing out to the illegals, is how they're going to steal the election. Because it was only 44,000 vote difference in the 2020 election. So you get voter registration forms to these illegals in these swing states, and that's how they're going to steal the election. And they're doing it right in front of our faces.
Thanks for the call, Jerry. When you have what's the number? 6, 8, 10? Does anybody really know? Million people invited to enter this country illegally over the last 3 years. I mean, you don't have a handle on what is happening. We have House Republicans trying to get information about the interactions between federal agencies and illegal immigrants, particularly as it pertains to things like voter registration. But I don't think we really know. And I'm not sure that anybody has a real handle on it, except maybe those who have less than honorable motivations with respect to illegal immigrants. with an eye towards November. So I think it's a huge question. And I think this is something that really needs to be impressed upon the Trump campaign and the RNC. It's one thing to talk about what you're going to do, the deportations and so on and so forth. But I'd like to hear details of what you're going to do between now and November, what you're going to do still as a former president before you become president again, so that you can become president again.
Right.
And the other reason that I think you want to lay out something substantial in terms of the ballot security program that you're going to run if you're the Republican Party is because you want to send a message, whether it's to federal bureaucrats or mules, vote mules, essentially, or any other political skullduggerous actors out there, that we actually have a program. You're running a high risk of being caught if you try to subvert federal election law. People should feel intimidated to behave badly, and I'm not sure they really do right now. So I'd like a little bit more public distillation of what the Trump campaign and the Republican Party is going to do over the next 5 months to ensure that open borders isn't not just a backdoor way around our immigration law, but a backdoor way to reinstall Biden as the president. So I think it's a legitimate concern. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying this is how they're going to steal it. I'm saying it's a huge vulnerability and it needs to be addressed with more specificity and publicly too, because you want to have a chilling effect.
Exactly. And I don't know if the debate's the time to have it, but Trump's got to have a serious conversation with Americans about how he's going to have a secure election and how he's going to stop the invasion at the border. Because yesterday he was in Wisconsin and he responded to, to Biden's executive action.
Our country is under invasion. We should not be talking amnesty. We should be talking about stopping the invasion instead.
Yeah.
That's fine, but we need more detail. We need more. It's time to advance the conversation.
Well, it's also time to properly characterize it. I will continue to say it's more, not only more accurate, it's more of an indictment. It's not an invasion. It's an invitation. It is not you did not invade someone's home when you're invited in, and that's what's happened. And that puts it right at the doorstep of Biden and his administration, which is where it belongs. Greg in LaGrange.
Hey, good morning. I find the word deserve interesting.
Oh, yeah.
We're taking on the same meaning to me since Little Bill said it in Unforgiven. and Eastwood came back and said, deserved has nothing to do with it. This is unbelievable that our side of the aisle has not actually addressed the issues of voter security after all that we know from the John Solomon piece and those two little apparatchiks, the one that worked at CBS and the one that worked in the White House, basically laid out the plans ahead of time in 2020. Remember that, Dan, Amy? The Rhodes brothers, was that their names? The Rhodes?
Yeah, right. The NSA, Ben Rhodes, and his brother, who is a CBS News exec. Yeah, that's right.
This administration has done more to destroy this country by design through open borders, economic means, through the familial process of mandating all sorts of ridiculousness to test the endurance of the human being, the parent, the nuclear family, and whether or not they would mask their kids through COVID, through our military, I've ever seen. And they will go ahead with this. They will get this executive order out there. It will proceed. It'll go through the courts later. And by the time that it gets adjudicated in the courts, it'll have a nice little rooting system in our society, and it'll be almost impossible to tear out.
Right, because
Donald Trump.
Because if you move on this, I mean, you're hearing it now. If you any opposition to this, what do you want to do, Prof? Do you want to break up families? How heartless can you be?
It has nothing to do with breaking up families. It has everything to do with creating a process to allow these people to come into the country legally and go through a process that's commonsensical and makes all sorts of sense reason-wise and helps us as a country to assimilate But that's not the goal.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to divide and destroy and to separate people and keep people at each other's throats as long as we can possibly endure it until things completely break down. It's unbelievable that after all we've been through, that this guy even has a chance. But yet our Republican brethren, who we look to for support and help, like Superman in some ways to a lot of people, don't address the issue front and center and get serious every single day and pound home issues, the 5 most important issues of this country every day, every single day. Seriousness needs to be addressed on our side.
Thanks for the call,
Thanks,
Greg. Joe, Arlington Heights.
Hey, good morning. It's tough to follow Greg when he goes on a tirade like that. He's so good. It seems to me that every time Mr. Trump opens his mouth and talks about mass deportation, he is motivating illegals who are worried about voting and getting in trouble, but they don't want to get deported. So, he keeps saying that I better go ahead and vote so I don't get deported. Seems to me self-defeating. That's how insidious this open border nonsense is that the socialists have done to us.
Yeah,
They
interesting.
shouldn't be
Thanks,
voting
Joe.
if they're not citizens.
Well,
But they
yeah.
have friends
Yeah.
and family members who are here legally.
I
just isn't anybody sick living like this already?
I think a lot of people are.
I mean, did you hear what happened in New York? Or we can talk about it later. But a 13-year-old girl, and her, this is so disturbing. This guy who was here illegally from Ecuador, came through Eagle Pass in 2021, was living in New York, took this 13-year-old girl and her 14-year-old friend, dragged them to a park, tied their feet together with shoelaces, raped her while the 14-year-old boy was screaming, "Stop it, stop." And people in the streets of New York, because his picture came out, they beat him to a pulp. And these people are the best. They should all get awards because they saw the most wanted picture out and they just took matters into their own hand. He should not have been in this country at all.
Yeah, I'm afraid that those stories are becoming like the 7-year-old boy that was shot and killed on the West Side yesterday. It's terrible. Anyway, let me get back to voting Democrat. I don't know. I mean, the story, we've been talking about this for the better part of the last year. We can tell you a story like that every single day.
Well,
There's
it happens, we should.
I understand. Now the implication is the conversation. And so, but I mean, this is how unserious we are as a nation. A guy in Colorado, illegally working for a California-based trucking company, 16 prior deportations.
Oh.
And he killed a guy while speeding and driving without a CDL.
Yeah.
16 prior deportations. How does he get hired? How does he get back in? I mean, it's just so, and you throw up your hands because it's clear there is not any real level of seriousness to structurally change what is happening both at the border and by extension in the country writ large. So now you have this patchwork of sanctuary jurisdictions. You've got Republicans that are beholden to the sort of the Chamber of Commerce folks that want cheap labor, are opposed to things like E-Verify. We don't want to see businesses prosecuted because we're pro, entrepreneurial capitalism, and we can't make any sort of sensible distinctions about that. And then obviously on the left, a party that's completely been taken over by Marxists is just straight on for open borders, and they will pillory anybody who does not subscribe to their sentimentality as racists and xenophobes and heartless breaker-uppers of families. So what do you say to that? You say Trump better get back, he better be serious, and he better show he's serious by bringing in a whole host of serious people, the Tom Homans of the world, the Mark Morgans of the world, to provide the leadership, the day-to-day leadership for the day-to-day implementation of something very different than we have now.
No more clowns.
And not to mention, top flight litigators to beat back the lawfare that you're going to get from the left if they were even temporarily out of power in the courts. I mean, this is really a political battle on all fronts in all forums. And I just I don't feel like the Republican Party is really up to the task. I don't see a lot of evidence they're up to the task. I hear a lot of the rhetoric, and you can only give people the benefit of the doubt for so long. So I think Trump is serious about it, but his sobriety will be tested by how organized he is and the quality of the people he puts around him, the quality of the policymakers and litigators, all hands on deck, division of labor, sensible, relentless pursuit of the restoration of the rule of law and thus the republic. We'll see. We hope. Paul and Carrie.
Hey, guys. Well, that's just it, Dan. I mean, it's almost like Greg was saying and what you just alluded to, that the Republican Party, Congress, is somewhat complicit. Where are the lawyers in Congress? Where are the constitutionalists to challenge this? The executive orders and everything, the student loans, the illegals coming across the border. Where are they? Where's their voice? Where's the challenge? I got to tell you, due to my work, occasionally I'll miss some of the shows and what have you. I do the Shapiros, I do the Bonginos, Bongino, and the other shows, Levins, and so forth. But when you're out of that loop, when you're not listening, I got to tell you, when I'm too busy with, like most Americans, with their day-to-day lives, when you're out of it, you don't really hear everything, and we're almost like we're living in a vacuum when we're listening to you guys and the other various shows, the political junkies and so forth. And if you're not listening to that, and in that vacuum, you don't hear much about all this stuff. And I think that's partly where the vote comes from. People, well, it's not really that bad.
Not a big deal.
We got to go. They're just people looking for a better life.
Yep.
Is it really that bad? And I think that can, so I think that's where the complacency comes from.
It's very true. Thanks, Paul.
Or we could get away at our home in Lake Geneva or New Buffalo.
Well, and also too,
bad.
even for the non-rich dilettantes that you're describing, and that's part of it. We'll go back to that local reaction story from ABC7. I mean, do I want Alondra Segura to be successful in her businesses and so on and so forth? I don't know her. She seems like a nice person. She's running businesses.
She's working.
That's great. It doesn't mean you're entitled to be here on your own terms. But there is no other side. You're not going to get that viewpoint, and then people are afraid to express that viewpoint. Nobody has that viewpoint. Except, crazy people that on conservative talk radio. Okay, yeah, that's a crazy position. It's a real crazy position.
Vet these 500,000 immigrants.
This is what they do. Paul from Kerry is exactly right. Are you opposed to Doris Aguirre from Honduras? She's married. She's, in her 50s. She's a cleaning lady. She follows the law, except for the fact that she's here illegally. And so, let's just cut her some slack. Just cut them some slack. I don't want to be the bad guy here. But the problem is, of course, as anybody who's paying attention knows, if you're listening to this show, you're paying attention, that you're not the bad guy. They're the bad guys. Because even if it's 10 Doris Aguirres, the sympathetic, middle-aged mom who works as a cleaning lady, is married to a U.S. citizen, then you've got, even if you have 10, even if you have 20 for every one of the Ecuadorian rapists, that doesn't wash. They're the bad guys. And this is why you don't platform that opinion or those stories, as Paul from Kerry was saying, if you're Sarah Schulte at ABC7 or the news director at ABC7 telling Sarah Schulte what she can and can't do. It's exactly right. Exactly what Paul said. because those who don't have the time to study this, pay attention to this, consume all the information like we do on a daily basis, some will figure it out and many will not. And that's what they're counting on.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 6:06, BLM Brandon has another big announcement following up on that exciting reparations task force, 6:06.
And wait till you hear the question that one thought they'd never hear at a mayoral debate. At 6 a.m., WYND Chicago.
A comprehensive strategic partnership. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what two American adversaries signed today in North Korea, where Russia's president got a warm welcome.
Before an audience of thousands, Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un strode down Pyongyang's main square. Ranks of pristine military personnel on one side of the red carpet, an equally regimented group of children cheering on the other. A welcome ceremony to show Russia and North Korea are closer than ever. At talks, Chairman Kim promised full support for Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. In Russia, an American soldier sentenced to almost 4 years in prison after Staff Sergeant Gordon Black was convicted of stealing from a girlfriend that Black went to visit while on leave. It's getting hotter out the day before summer. Heat advisories from the Midwest to New England.
103 is what it's going to feel like in Bangor, Maine. 107 in Manchester. Yeah, that's crazy. 104 in Albany.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean. 2 wildfires are scorching New Mexico, where one person died. An entire town's been evacuated. More than 1,000 structures have burned. Boeing's CEO faced tough safety questions at a Senate hearing after numerous whistleblower complaints about Boeing manufacturing and incidents with Boeing jets, including the door plug blowout at an Alaska Airlines flight.
Our culture is far from perfect, but we are taking action and we are making progress.
Dave Calhoun, the CEO, also apologized to families of victims of 2 deadly Boeing crashes. A baseball legend is being mourned. Willie Mays, a Hall of Famer.
He ranked 6th all-time in home runs with 660. He finished his career with a .301 batting average. But it wasn't just his talent at the plate that impressed. He's considered the greatest center fielder to ever play the game. His over-the-shoulder catch in Game 1 of the 1954 World Series at the Polo Grounds is one of the most famous plays in baseball history.
That's Joe Morgan. Willie Mays was 93. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 78 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Look for partly cloudy skies today, slight chance for showers and a high near 93. An intense heat wave is taking its toll on the Midwest and Northeast today. Some schools in Massachusetts and New York have switched to a snow day schedule and releasing kids early to avoid the hottest hours. The National Weather Service says over 70 million people are under extreme heat conditions, and millions more are experiencing temperatures above 90 degrees. It'll feel much worse in Chicago, Pittsburgh, and Washington, D.C., where the humidity will make it feel like 100 degrees. Temps could be as much as 15 to 20 degrees above normal through the rest of the week. A man accused of shooting 3 Ogle County Sheriff's deputies is charged with attempted first-degree murder. The Ogle County State's Attorney Mike Rock announced a number of charges yesterday against Jonathan Gunaris. Authorities say the suspect barricaded himself inside a house in the 400 block of Wild Rice Lane last week after threatening family members. Deputies exchanged gunshots with Gunaris. 3 deputies and Gunaris were hit by gunfire and sent to the hospital. The suspect was treated and released and is now in custody. A top Illinois Republican is being dethroned. The Illinois Republican State Central Committee voted this week to remove Mark Shaw as state party vice chair. His removal follows allegations that he voted as a delegate at last month's state Republican convention despite not being one. Shaw is the former chairman of the GOP in Lake County. State Republicans are making the change less than a month before its delegation heads to Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention to nominate former President Donald Trump. DNA testing is confirming that a human arm that was found on a beach in north suburban Waukegan last month belonged to a suspected murder victim from Milwaukee. The arm was discovered at the Waukegan Municipal Beach off East Seahorse Drive. The arm belongs to 19-year-old Sade Robinson, who was reported missing in April. Maxwell Anderson was arrested in Milwaukee and charged with murdering her after a first date. He has pleaded not guilty. News is a service of Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combining heritage and innovation in every cup. Hot air roasted locally and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee because great coffee is their family tradition. Online at papanicholas.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Dennis Prager can see the strategy from the Democrats.
If he is in decline, what do the Democrats do? So I think that they're thinking he has to simply be, in effect, he has to be able to stand up and say a few sentences to run, because Kamala Harris has no chance of winning.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Charlie Kirk at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
Well, the weather's warming up and summer's just around the corner. Everyone has a favorite outdoor activity: golf, bike riding, bird watching, long walks. Ask 100 people, you'll get 100 answers. But if everyday aches and pains are keeping you on the sidelines, I have one answer: Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joints, or muscles, in 3 weeks or less, you'll start to feel the difference all day, every day. So whatever you like to do, swimming, pickleball, hanging out in the garden, Relief Factor can help you feel good again and let you enjoy all your favorite outdoor activities all summer long. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
For years now, people have been switching their wireless service to Pure Talk to save money. Just $20 a month, you get unlimited talk and text and tons of data. But more people are switching to Pure Talk, a veteran-owned company, to support the America's Warrior Partnership and their mission to help prevent veteran suicide. To make the switch, dial pound 250, say the keyword SAVE NOW, and you'll be connected to Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team. Make the switch, same service, save money, help vets, pound 250, keyword SAVE NOW.
Your pet isn't just a pet, they're part of your family. Most of the pet food on the market is cooked at high temperatures, which kills nutrients. A scoop of Dynavite is a 3-in-1 daily supplement, adding back key nutrients to your pup's health. Try Dynavite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at DINOVITE.com/radio. That's Dynavite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynavite.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads. Westbound 8094 at Calumet Avenue. Watch out for an accident in the right lane, and that slows down from Klein Avenue. Seeing delays westbound 8030 to Cherry Hill. Tri-State northbound, an overturned car north of the Grand Avenue curve blocking the right lane. That delay starting at North Avenue. Inbound I-57, there is an accident on the off-ramp to 127th Street. Southbound 55 heavy, 80 to US 6, that's all due to road work. Inbound side of the Stevenson at 25 minutes, 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Tied Ashland into the Rhine, again, construction. Traffic is a service of Health Insurance Mentors. Are you 65 or older and thinking about Medicare? Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Call Stephen Tucker today for free Medicare advice. Visit healthinsurancementors.com or call 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551 or healthinsurancementors.com. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. But now, a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Clouds and sun, a hot day. Thunderstorm around this afternoon. Could see some gusty wind and small hail. High 95. Thunderstorm early this evening, otherwise clearing. Low tonight 72. Partly sunny, a thunderstorm for tomorrow. High 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So fresh off the rollout of his reparations task force, BLM Brandon had a photo shoot set up to put together the proper propaganda to tout yet another accomplishment of his administration, and that is to have the blackest administration in city history. And, you know, this is a little bit, you see the video, they posted it online, he's touting this, and they're Brandon Johnson standing in the middle with other city employees who are black men and women, and they're doing a little photo shoot.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. All right.
1, 2.
Smile with
All
your
right, let's
eyes.
give me another one.
Smile to
All
the
right,
back.
I think we got it.
Yeah.
All right, everyone.
Something playful.
We got it. We did it. Dan, we did it. We took the perfect picture.
All right, something
oh my God.
playful, something sexy now. Now, something alluring. Give me something alluring.
Can I have a little more shoulder, please?
Mhm.
A little, dip it down, chin up, chin up.
Yeah.
Squeeze your tongue back, make the chin look chiseled. Yeah.
The blackest administration in city history. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, do we keep records on these things? Are we counting by race? Of course we are. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. But as we said, so there's plenty of time for photo shoots because you've got to play the racial politics. And then the 7-year-old that dies on the near west side yesterday getting, shot in crossfire. I mean, it's just sort of by the boards. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't get the sense that other than isn't that terrible, isn't that awful, Chicago's so violent, I just don't get the sense that it moves the needle.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. I mean, what a joke. And did our tax dollars pay for this? Is this PR firm called The Tribe that's now, trying to promote, Chicago as the blackest city? Why are we celebrating? I know today's Juneteenth. I understand that. But I don't want to celebrate anybody's sexuality for Pride Month. Why are we celebrating non-accomplishments? It's embarrassing for the city. It's embarrassing for black Chicagoans.
Is it?
Oh. I wish my friend Lois would call in right now because she was appalled. She's like, we're trying to be blacker than New Orleans? And what has that gotten them and what has that gotten us?
Well,
I guess Mayor Johnson wants Chicago to replace New Orleans as the new chocolate city. He's awful. These people are obsessed with race and truly sick.
Well,
How one black Chicagoan feels.
You're a black Chicagoan?
No, my friend texted me
Oh.
that when she was appalled by the Tribe PR company or whatever they are, and they took this picture and no dudes, only 3 dudes there.
Well, I don't know. I don't think there's any appetite to push back against identity politics either in the city. I don't think you can shame or insult people enough as long as you're pushing identity politics.
Here's what they tweeted out from the Tribe. We have the blackest administration in the history of Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson said. Mayor Johnson's strategic appointment of black professionals to 44% of his administration positions markets a significant moment in Chicago's history.
Okay. I mean, I know people's reaction is going to be like, whatever. It's just racial politics. We're totally desensitized to it. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It's something to tout among certain constituencies. But I mean, everybody plays racial politics in the city, and they have for a long time, which is why we have the most de facto segregated city in the country. It gets you nowhere. It gets you killing each other and gets you climbing over each other for political power based on identity. But there's no appetite to change it. There's no outrage. There's barely even any notice paid because there's no pushback. Nobody says, no, there's a better way. Everything is the black vote and the Latino vote, the black neighborhoods and Latino neighborhoods and honky neighborhoods. It's all, everything is categorized by group. That's the way we talk about it. Do you ever pay attention to the way we talk? The way you talk? You categorize everything by racial identity group or gender identity group, and then you're sort of like, oh, this identity politics. Well, you're advancing it by using their lingo. We've adopted their nomenclature, and we can't figure out why people, and human beings I know are sort of tribal by nature, but why they can't get beyond their tribe to a better, more enlightened place. We don't even try. And so, the sort of Twitter rage about this photo shoot and the touting Chicago or the Brandon Johnson administration as the blackest in history, that what flag do you think that advances? It's just like the outrage from conservatives too sometimes, or the pushback. It feels very hollow to me, doesn't it? Doesn't it to you? It feels very cheap and very easy. And then those same people that are, ridiculing and pillaring BLM Brandon for his latest propagandizing along racial lines, they go right back into playing the same game. So how seriously am I supposed to take it? Kyle and Beverly, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
How are you doing today? Good morning. Yeah, so I just was wondering, speaking of this Juneteenth stuff, all this stuff, blah, blah, can you name one black community in the city of Chicago that's safe? Because I can't think of one.
I don't think anywhere is safe, but...
Thanks for the call, Kyle. Like one majority black neighborhood or ward. I mean, obviously some are safer than others, but we know that's the majority, in fact, the supermajority of violent crime, starting with murders and shootings, is black on black crime that occurs in majority black neighborhoods and wards. That's just the data. But the underlying point is the important one. We live in a segregated city. 100 years plus of uninterrupted Democrat socialist rule, machines, then Marxists. And what do you have to show for it? What do you have to show for it? All those who supported the machine and now think they're benefiting from the Marxists. You have what you have to show for it is the most de facto segregated city in America, arguably, and one of the most violent, and one of the most depressed when it comes to those same majority-minority neighborhoods and wards, and for a number of reasons, starting with the lack of public safety.
Johnson further wrote, the people who are complaining are doing so because they've enjoyed a time when the mayor's office was predominantly white and male. He specifically mentioned Richard M. Daley. Quote, let's not act like we don't know how previous administrations got down.
Yeah.
Okay. And you want to spend your time doing that? Okay.
What you mean the honkies, the machine honkies didn't play racial politics? The Irish didn't play racial politics? Is that what I'm being told?
Everybody played politics when they were politicians.
Played racial politics.
I mean, this group, they broke down who was in the black people that were in the office under Mayor Emanuel, Mayor Lightfoot, Richard M. Daley.
It's just what? It's just a racial politics that is a hallmark of Chicago politics. What's different? The photo shoot? Hello, you've been in Chicago for a minute. You lived through the Richard M. Daley years.
I was here for Harold Washington, but I was in high school.
Yeah, so I'm asking a question. What's different? The photo shoot, is that the big thing? The Lori Lightfoot not sitting down with honky reporters for a time? Is that the new thing? Or are those just different iterations, slightly different tactics or public displays of the same old thing? I'm sorry, I'm not going to defend the honkies that brought us to this place and put this all at the latest race hustlers to show up's doorstep. That would be BLM Brandon. This all's happening because of him and because of Triple Threat? Those loyalists for Tiny Dancer and the Dailies and the Burkses and the Madigans and the Cullertons. They get a pass? No, I don't think so. But nobody. But I raise that issue, and what do I get? Silence. Is my mic been cut? Anybody in Chicago? Hello? Right.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Frank Vance, co-owner of Egan Vance Insurance Agency on Chicago's Northwest Side and a customer of Signature Bank. In my line of work, we pride ourselves on being there for our clients when they need it the most, and we recognize when someone does the same for us. As Egan Vance was expanding, we wanted to buy a much sought-after building in the neighborhood. We couldn't waste any time. I called Signature Bank, and that was all it took. I didn't have to talk to multiple people in silo departments with multiple forms to fill out. One call did it all. As the one who was always looking out for my clients, it was a great change to know that my bank, Signature Bank, was looking out for me.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All right. Don't forget your Balance of Nature supplements this summer, because hot dogs, burgers, brats don't provide the fruits and vegetables your body desperately needs every day to stay healthy, happy, and energized. That's why I've been taking Balance of Nature for almost 10 years now. I take the 6 capsules and crack them open into water or dust them over salad or mix them into my juice drinks, and I'm telling you, it works. Those 6 capsules a day provides your body, heart, and mind with over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables. You'll love it. Your body, mind, and heart will thank you for it. Order your fruits and veggies today. 800-246-8751. The vegetable supplements, the number to call, 800-246-8751, or online at balanceofnature.com. Coupon code Chicago.
Are you a driver of a Ford PowerStroke diesel engine? Tired of taking your Ford PowerStroke diesel in to be misdiagnosed or paying for repairs that don't fix the problem? Well, bring your vehicle to the diesel headquarters, Remke's Garage. The shop is equipped with state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment and highly trained technicians. Take it to the experts. Take it to Remke's Garage. Remke's Garage specializes in Ford PowerStroke, Chevy Duramax, Dodge Cummins, Mercedes Sprinter, and Isuzu diesel engines and transmission repairs. At Remke's, they'll make your vehicle repairs convenient by offering a free commercial loaner vehicle.
Remke's Garage, where you won't spend $1,000 to fix a $100 problem. Call for details and to schedule an appointment at 800-5-REMKES or visit Remke'sGarage.com. Remke's Garage, your diesel headquarters.
One of the most important decisions you can make as a parent is where you send your kids to school. But these days, it's never been harder to know which school is best. Public schools have changed a lot, and you might be thinking about sending your child to a private Christian school. But you also know that private school can be expensive, and in this economy, you might think it's not an option. Well, think again. With HalfPriceSchools.com, you can purchase tuition vouchers for half the price of normal tuition for private schools. For nearly 10 years, HalfPriceSchools.com has helped families from all over Chicagoland make the dream of private school a reality, and that can be the reality for you and your child too. Just go to HalfPriceSchools.com, search for a private Christian school near you, and purchase a voucher. It's that easy. Visit HalfPriceSchools.com. That's HalfPriceSchools.com.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for Townhall.com. The Biden administration recently made a big splash about the president's supposed mandate to reduce asylum claims from illegal immigrants at the border. But it's important to look not at what the administration is saying, but at what it's actually doing. President Biden is now offering a path to citizenship for hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants married to U.S. citizens. It would be one of the most sweeping immigration programs in decades. It's effectively amnesty. This is in addition to the administration closing more than 350,000 asylum cases since 2022. That decision has removed any requirement for illegal immigrants claiming asylum to touch base with authorities. They can travel throughout our country without being tracked or risking deportation. So don't be fooled. The Biden administration has no interest in addressing illegal immigration. Claims to the contrary are just election year theatrics.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking about racial politics in Chicago. They just started with BLM Brandon. That's what I'm supposed to believe from the Daley, Burke, Cullerton, Madigan, Rahm voters. No, I don't think so. Len in Highland Park.
Good morning, guys. You know, one of the coolest things I was lucky enough to experience in my life was working at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And when I started as a naive 21-year-old in 1978, the place was akin to a all-men's locker room at a golf club. Bunch of old white guys running the place. And we grew so fast. Within 5 years, it became a melting pot of humanity. If you had any semblance of talent, somebody gave you a chance. Somebody passed down their knowledge. Man, woman, black, white, whatever, wherever you came from, you became part of it. And it was just an amazing experience and to watch the place grow. And that's why I think we should have a 2-year military requirement for our kids, because we got to learn to get along like we did on the floor. I mean, it's nuts. And not military, you know, to go fight a war, just to socialize our people. And I'll hear what you have to say, Dan. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for the call. Well, that's what happens in a meritocracy, and the trading floors were meritocratic environments. That's what happens. People are aligned based on their shared interests, not their shared identity. And you got to prove up. Yep. So we could do that. That happened in the trading floors. It happens in, small spaces in Chicago and Illinois. But the larger culture is spoils of war. Government-centric. All roads lead to and from the state. Richard, Blue Island.
Yeah, hi, Dan and Amy. I'm all for Brandon Johnson's reparations. We should give him Reparation H for the hemorrhoids that have gone from the colon to his brain. Reparation H. Reparation H.
Reparation H is...
that name's already taken.
Yeah.
You want to tell him, or should I?
That's my handle for Kamala. Yeah, I know we're all opposed to reparations, but we weren't opposed to it when we called it patronage. Right? Yeah. Speaking of mayors, London Breed is the identitarian mayor of San Francisco. Could there be any other kind of mayor of San Francisco?
She loves Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, because during COVID, nobody could go out, but she went out and partied without a mask on at a bar because it was Tony.
Legends.
Life shattering. This is, earth moving kind of stuff here.
Feels good.
Yeah.
So she's running for re-election.
Dear God, if she wins.
What's the difference?
I know.
What does it matter? It doesn't matter. But I guess her chief opponent is this guy, Mark Farrell, who was briefly the mayor before she was, and then a member of the Board of Supervisors. And this apparently isn't their first candidate forum, because she followed up from a previous candidate forum demanding that he ask answer the most pertinent question there is when it comes to being the mayor of San Francisco.
Before you say it, have you ever in your life thought you'd ever hear a question like this at a mayoral debate?
Yes, and I'm not surprised, and I won't be surprised if this question now gets repeated in every debate involving candidates for mayor in big cities. Take a listen.
I'd like to ask Mark a question. You were at the Harvey Milk LGBT Democratic Club and couldn't name any LGBT advisors to your campaign. You were at the debate last week and couldn't name any drag queens on your own.
Oh my God.
I was wondering if you could, this is an opportunity to redeem yourself. And if you could name 3 LGBTQ advisors for your campaign and 3 drag queens in San Francisco.
So we're not going to revise the drag queen question from last week. But what I will say is I'm incredibly proud of the support that I have from our LGBTQ plus community here in the San Francisco.
I think we should amend the Constitution to you have to be a natural born citizen, you have to be 35 years old, and you have to be able to name 3 drag queens in order to be president of the United States.
Can you name 3 drag queens right now? Who's that one that spoke to the kids in Skokie?
RuPaul.
I was going to say RuPaul.
Lady Maga.
Oh, yes, Lady Maga.
Bruce Jenner.
Okay. Oh, my God. And that, by the way, that was a Zoom call, wasn't it? Because they still don't want to be.
No, they were physically there. They were
Why
physically
did they sound like
place.
they were
just bad audio, I guess. But that was,
Oh
bad audio on whoever filmed. But no, there was a candidate for him. They were physically there. He stood up. He buttoned his suit. I have many LGBTQIA plus friends. Good for you, Mark.
Yeah, we're so proud of you. You've come a long way. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 6:36, that sad little man is making the rounds after that vitriolic congressional hearing he had to endure over his decision-making during COVID. Tony Fauci on Colbert, on Maddow. They're indistinguishable, frankly, at 6:36.
But now let's head into that newsroom. Crystal Blue in for Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 79 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Partly cloudy today, slight chance for showers with a high near 93. The state of Illinois is set to hold hearings on reparations. The state's African Descent Citizens Reparations Commission announced the first hearing will take place in Chicago on July 13th. The series of public hearings will discuss reparatory actions for Black Americans in Illinois who are descendants of American chattel slavery. The ADCRC is committed to gathering diverse perspectives from the public to shape recommendations for tangible actions toward justice and restitution. Detectives are investigating after a 7-year-old boy was killed by a stray bullet on Chicago's west side. Police say Jaimani Rivera was shot in the chest yesterday in the 2300 block of West Jackson Boulevard. The gunshots were fired from outside the gates of an apartment complex. Officers immediately rendered aid and transported the victim to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. No one is in custody. Illinois is celebrating a record-breaking year of export sales in 2023. The state saw nearly $79 billion in export sales last year. Illinois is the top exporting state in the Midwest and 5th in the nation. News is a service of Valdecas Windows. For the discerning homeowner looking for high-quality and professional-level window replacement service, contact Valdecas Windows, your award-winning Platinum Elite Pella certified contractor. Visit Valdecas.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Charlie Kirk explains what goes into the VP pick.
Whomever Donald Trump selects as VP is going to have to wear multiple hats. It's going to have to be someone who can help the movement and not bring it down. It has to be someone that excites the base but doesn't turn off independent voters. And of course, if they try to throw Donald Trump in prison, someone who can help run the government.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. The Biden administration recently made a big splash about the president's supposed mandate to reduce asylum claims from illegal immigrants at the border. But it's important to look not at what the administration is saying, but at what it's actually doing. President Biden is now offering a path to citizenship for hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants married to U.S. citizens. It would be one of the most sweeping immigration programs in decades. It's effectively amnesty. This is in addition to the administration closing more than 350,000 asylum cases since 2022. That decision has removed any requirement for illegal immigrants claiming asylum to touch base with authorities. They can travel throughout our country without being tracked or risking deportation. So don't be fooled. The Biden administration has no interest in addressing illegal immigration. Claims to the contrary are just election year theatrics.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I've been watching it on TV, and then my son has my husband, and I guess he just called up and surprised me. He had ordered it, and I didn't expect it for me to notice it so right away. I kind of shocked my husband when I told him. I've been taking it like a little over a week. I'm taking it, and then I can already notice the difference. I do feel very good. I can't even put it into words. I feel really good every day. I don't wake up grouchy. I'd love everybody to think it. I think it's wonderful.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Support our police and hire the police to personally protect you. You've watched the news. Rising crime has been affecting our everyday lives in Illinois more and more these days. Blue Star Security can protect you, your business, or your place of worship. Blue Star Security is the only security company in Chicago with over 900 off-duty police officers, all W-2 employees.
I'm Jeffrey Salvetti, Vice President of Blue Star Security and a 15-year law enforcement veteran. The Blue Star team is made up of over 900 state-certified active and retired law enforcement professionals. We serve businesses and private organizations with supply chain and special event security, and also protect our loved ones at places of worship and schools all across the Chicagoland area. Blue Star Security's technology allows mobilization of off-duty officers quickly and efficiently. Our primary mission is to provide unparalleled protective services for each assignment with integrity while maintaining our commitment to community service in the Chicagoland area.
Visit online to schedule a free security consultation at bluestarsecuritylllc.com. That's bluestarsecuritylllc.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads. Inbound Edens is wide open. The Kennedy at 25 minutes in from O'Hare to downtown. Outbound side, beware of an accident on the exit ramp to Armitage. Inbound Eisenhower, 30 minutes, 390 into the post office, while the Stevenson is a 25-minute trip, 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. 15 minutes, 95th on in on the Dan Ryan. The express lane slowing 35th into the Chinatown feeder. Inbound 57, an accident on the exit ramp to 127th. Northbound Tri-State, an overturned car at Grand Avenue. It is on the shoulder. And eastbound Jane Addams, the right lane is blocked at 59 with debris. And we have an accident westbound 8094 at Calumet Avenue in the right lane. This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you. With Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Hot day today, intervals of sun and clouds, a thunderstorm in the area. Gusty winds and hail could come with that, high 95. Thunderstorm in spots early this evening, then clearing tonight, low 72. Partly sunny, warm thunderstorm for tomorrow, the high 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Tony Fauci is out hawking a book, so making the rounds, particularly after his appearance before the House a couple weeks ago.
Is it a horror novel?
No, it's a novel about what it's like to be the repository of science.
Because he is science.
Tony Fauci went on with Colbert, Rachel Maddow, I mean, Rachel Maddow is particularly obsequious. Really, it's difficult to watch. Such a bootlicker that she is. I said bootlicker.
Yeah, I saw. And
Yeah,
she only works 1 day a week, by the way.
Good for her. Tony Fauci, on the real problem with that hearing where there was so much unnecessary vitriol directed his way. Well, he's not just science, he's also democracy.
Most recently at the congressional hearing, where the purpose of the hearing was the stated purpose of the hearing was to figure out how we can do better, learn by our mistakes, and be better prepared for the inevitability of the next pandemic. And it was complete vitriol and ad hominem. I mean, there was nothing that even resembled that. And to me, that's the thing that scares me, because I think when you go down that road, I personally think, and I say it in the book, that I think that will, undermine our social order and undermine the fabric of our democracy.
He's trying to save our democracy.
He's a hero in more ways than one. I never knew.
He'll suffer the slings and arrows in order to sell books and to save our democracy as well. Then he went on Colbert, same sort of brown-nosing type of interview format, and lamented the politicization of science. That's dangerous, too. Dangerous times. Social order, politicization, social order being destabilized, science being politicized. The fabric of our democracy, nothing less at stake.
You are a spry 83 years old. Have you...
Just make out with him already.
Yeah.
Have you thought about running for president? No interest whatsoever.
Gross.
Well,
Oh, gross.
you served
They're
under
fun. They're fun.
seven presidents. Okay. Politicization of science is dangerous, but it's not a new thing.
Right.
This has happened in the past. You've dealt with it in the past. Have you seen anything like the way it is now, though? Because certainly just a few days ago, your testimony down in Washington, D.C. made headlines for the hostility that you received.
Right.
Is this, even for your long and storied career and being involved with all these politicians, does this seem like something new to you?
Quite new and disturbing. Back when I first became director of the Institute, which was, I had been director for almost 40 years. In the beginning, there was always politics. There was people of different ideology. There was center left, center right. They disagreed, and they, sometimes would argue with each other. But at the end of the day, there was civility and respect for each other. What we're seeing now is what you had mentioned, Stephen. It's vitriol and pure hostility. So I would get questioned in a very strict, pushing way, maybe back in other administrations. But at the end of the hearing, they would come over to you and say, good job, sorry that we had to be tough with our questionings, but, we want to get to the right place. Now it's pure attack, which is totally different. It's just, I believe, a reflection of the profound degree of divisiveness in the country, which is very destructive.
Okay, well, you're a...
Now it's just pure attack. Well,
It should have been pure attack from the beginning.
I wonder, what potentially occurred that may have changed the tenor of the discussion. Sad little man. So that it's not so collegial anymore. It's one thing when you're just distributing $40 billion worth of funds to explore and research, viruses and cures and so on and so forth, sort of doing work behind the scenes. It's another thing when you, lock down the country for a couple of years.
Yeah, he told us masks would stop transmission. He told us vaccines would stop transmission. He implemented the 6-foot rule, which he really had no science and data on. It was just some arbitrary number, but that affected schools and gyms and businesses. Our schools are not going to be the same for decades. Downtown is still not at even 60% full. He destroyed it all. He destroyed America. And no, I'm never going to forgive him. And I'm never going to think that this, his shenanigans are funny or cute. There's no amnesty. Zero. Period.
Vinay Prasad, who is an epidemiologist and an oncologist, I thought had a good critique of Fauci.
Okay, I want to hear.
And one aspect of this in particular, of course, anybody who's been paying attention knows some of what has come to light, some of what was obvious in real time, and what has come to light to confirm what was obvious in real time. That, and this is from Prasad, Fauci supported vaccine mandates and border closure. He repeated the false statement that 6 feet of social distancing had an empirical basis. Many in the media and medicine think criticizing him is unfair. He did the best he could with what he knew at the time. But it is fair to criticize a scientist who presented his views as facts when they were at best speculation. And moreover, there is one criticism that no one can deny. Although he was director of the NIAID, and although he controlled a $5 billion infectious disease research budget, he chose to launch, fund, and conduct precisely 0 randomized trials. That's essentially how he's behaved since he rose to prominence and continues to. He really shies away from the celebrity. Good grief.
But if you go to Europe, no health department officials did what Fauci did. They didn't they weren't on television every single day, making public policy.
But I just want to say that again. This is such an important point. He had an actual job. He's got like a $500,000 pension because of this actual job he had for 40 years. The head of an agency controlled a $5 billion infectious disease research budget, and he chose to launch, fund, and conduct precisely 0 randomized trials of non-pharmacologic interventions. So he knew, for example, that 6 feet of social distancing had no empirical basis. Did he devote a few shekels to study that?
No.
Right. Mask wearing and the studies that were going back and forth and back and forth. Did he devote any of our money that he presides over to that? No. To the mRNA, to therapeutics, so on and so forth, to understanding the virus itself. 0 randomized trials of non-pharmacologic interventions. $5 billion budget. Really good point that Vinay Prasad makes. Dennis in Milwaukee.
Well, remember, this is Dr. I Am Science, and we should not be surprised that when we look at these government appointees and these lackeys that the level of deception and incompetence is immeasurable. I still think that the turning point of this lack of civility and everything occurred when the American public accepted lies right to their face as acceptable and tolerable truth. I'm going to take it all the way back to I did not have sex with that woman. And the redefinition of what oral sex is, that leads everything to today. Redefine, deny, and do not accept your incompetence. If you listen to the Fauci speech there, he said very specifically, we have to analyze our mistakes, but he never took responsibility for being the mistaker.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the call, Dennis. I think why it's so vitriolic now, I think there's another reason. I don't think it's particularly the perfidy of politicians, because it's time immemorial. I think it's because of the greatly expanded power of the federal government. Centralized power occurs at the expense of freedom. And I think you have a government that has become, over the last 30 years, increasingly thuggish. You have people in charge who are increasingly autocratic in their disposition towards the taxpayer, towards their constituents, effectively. And so the stakes are higher. It's one thing if you have some philandering politician lie to you when he doesn't have that much impact on your life. It's another thing when he does. I think we need to, and by the way, this is how free societies fail. This is how empires fall. power gets increasingly centralized. The freaks on the margins of society are increasingly platformed. You are, in all of the sort of dystopian literature that comes true, you are told not to believe your lying eyes. You are told to not be the one who stops clapping first. The centralized power, the impact that government has on our lives, and the attitude with which that impact is delivered in so many instances is why there's so much vitriol. Because people are getting torn apart by their government. And that's different than just being lied to by a politician.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Let me ask you this. Are you not able to enjoy this summer as much as you want because of joint pain? Well, this is the best time for being outdoors, but not if your knees, shoulders, back, or hips are hurting. Hey, it's Amy Jacobson, and don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here from our good friends at QC Kinetics. Call them today. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Walk, run, hike, play golf, move again pain-free. So stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. They're open on Saturdays, now with new locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I've been watching it on TV, and then my soul has my husband, and I guess he just called up and surprised me. He had ordered it, and I didn't expect it for me to notice it so right away. I kind of shocked my husband when I told him. I've been taking it like a little over a week. I'm taking it, and then I can already notice the difference. I do feel very good. I can't even put it into words. I feel really good every day. I don't wake up grouchy. I'd love everybody to take it. I think it's wonderful.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Over the years, Eric has built a great company. He's grown his business, increased his client base, and now has multiple locations. But there's one thing that Eric should be concerned about, and that's his network. While Eric's company has grown, his network evolved into a mess and has left him vulnerable to cyber attacks like ransomware that can fold up his business permanently. He thought his basic network that evolved from years ago was enough, but it's not just his server that's at risk. Cyber attacks affect the full infrastructure of a business, right down to customer data, employee devices, and even their smartphones. So Eric came to Turnkey to help protect his business, his team, and his clients. Thanks to Turnkey, Eric's network was overhauled and thoroughly secured, moving forward with real-time threat hunting protection. Turnkey has the solutions to protect your business. Want to build and improve your network? Turnkey can help with cutting-edge IT solutions. Start a conversation today. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Are you turning 65 and thinking about Medicare? Or are you over 65 and haven't enrolled yet because you still have coverage at work? Either way, Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Imagine having an annual deductible of only $240. There are only two good things about aging: wisdom and Medicare. But to navigate the Medicare maze properly, you need a mentor. Best part, my guidance cost you nothing. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Medicare, then you need a local expert on your side, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than a decade. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Speaking of the Republic, so some ignoramus at CNN who bears a striking resemblance to Zach Galifianakis did an MOS in which he interviewed people. Well, he interviewed some Trump supporters, and then he interviewed Ann Applebaum, who's just, I mean, I think she's got a Pulitzer Prize, but she's just awful, and she's a dope. She's a dope. But she's, writes at The Atlantic. And so, and the whole thing is about what these Trump supporters are saying we don't have a democracy. This isn't a democracy. This is a republic. And he tries to wrap his tiny little brain around this concept. Take a listen.
We are a republic. Is America a democracy?
America is a democracy. It was founded as a democracy.
I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories. I hear a lot of things out on the road. But to hear Americans, people who would describe themselves as patriots, say that America is not a democracy, that stopped me in my tracks.
You are hearing people say America is not a democracy because there are people around Trump who want them to be saying that, who've been planting that narrative.
Is America a democracy?
Yes.
No, I don't. I think not right now. But we're a republic.
What's the difference?
I feel like democracy. Let me think this through. That it's government control. I don't see freedom in democracy. I see freedom in the republic.
Honestly, the word democracy and the word republic have often been used interchangeably. There isn't a meaningful difference between them.
So much of the warnings and criticism about Trump is that he is a threat to democracy, that he is anti-democratic.
Absolutely. If they can convince people that we don't have a democracy, then it's okay that Trump is attacking democracy because it doesn't really matter.
So, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. So on the one hand, she basically says what is true, which is people use democracy and republic interchangeably. Many people don't understand the technical distinction between the two. This is why they're used. And people's threats to our democracy, protect our democracy. But no, it's a republic. But they're using them interchangeably, okay? And they're not social scientists. That's true. But then she goes on, but the reason, so it's a distinction without a difference in the minds of the public. They're saying free society with representative government.
Yeah.
That's what everybody.
Citizens elect representative to make decisions on their behalf.
That's what everybody's actually saying. But then she turns around and says, "Oh, but if you're saying a republic and not a democracy, Trump is telling them to say that because he wants to undermine democracy and thus." I mean, it's all such convoluted propaganda. It's so unnerving. She's such a dope and actually a malicious dope, which is the worst kind of dope. But there is a distinction, and people should know it. As the libertarians like to say, democracy is three wolves and a sheep deciding what to have for lunch. And if you go back and read the founders, which Ann Applebaum might want to do, I mean, they talk incessantly about concern for majority tyranny over the minority. This is why they wanted a federalist system, power decentralized, power closest to the people. This is why we have the Electoral College. This is why we have a uniform number of senators from each state, as opposed to by population, like we do in the House. They talk about it all the time. John Adams, democracy will soon degenerate into an anarchy, such an anarchy that every man will do what is right in his own eyes, and no man's life or property or reputation or liberty will be secure, and every one of those will soon mold itself into a system of subordination of all the moral virtues and intellectual abilities, all the powers of wealth, beauty, wit, and science, to the wanton pleasures, the capricious will, and the execrable cruelty of one or a very few. That was the concern. Thus, the safeguards for minority rights and interests, thus the restraints on centralized power that have mostly been released at this point, unfortunately. So it does make a material difference if you want to understand the system and the philosophy behind it. It doesn't in common parlance, and all this save our democracy, that there's some sort of, coded message going on. There's a conspiracy to not say we don't have a democracy so we can undermine the democracy. That is just a bunch of fevered dreams of CNN hacks and the fellow hacks they platform like Annie Applebaum.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 7:07, who's really unfit for office physically and mentally? 7:07.
Today, plenty of sunshine, hot and humid again, high in the mid to upper 90s. It's now 7 a.m., WIND, Chicago.
His unauthorized trip to Russia is far from over. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. An American soldier convicted and sent to prison in Russia where Staff Sergeant Gordon Black went to visit a girlfriend.
She says he stole the equivalent of $2,000. Convicting the 34-year-old of stealing and threats to murder, the court has sentenced Black to 3 years and 9 months in prison. Black had been stationed in South Korea and was on leave, supposedly returning to Texas, when he instead made the trip to Russia.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Russian President Vladimir Putin is in North Korea, where he got red carpet treatment and then signed the new agreement with leader Kim Jong-un, who the U.S. says has been supplying weapons and ammo for Russia's war in Ukraine.
The Biden administration admits it is concerned about the closer ties. This trip is also expected to highlight Russia's need for weapons and North Korea's need for technology and economic assistance.
Fox's Alex Hogan. It's going to be an even hotter day from Illinois to Maine, where humidity will make it feel like over 100 degrees, prompting a first-ever excessive heat warning in Maine. Wildfires are raging in New Mexico, where one person has died. More than 1,000 structures have burned.
New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham declaring a state of emergency for Lincoln County and the Mescalero Apache Reservation. And the entire village of Ruidoso, home to 7,000 people, was forced to flee.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. President Biden has signed an executive order to give a path to citizenship for migrants here illegally for at least 10 years who are married to American citizens. Former President Trump said at a rally in Wisconsin it's an order he would rescind if elected again.
We should not be talking amnesty. We should be talking about stopping the invasion instead.
A primary race is too close to call in Virginia. Congressman Bob Good is trailing Trump-backed Republican challenger John McGuire by 327 votes, with more to count tomorrow after taking a break for today's Juneteenth holiday that marks the end of slavery. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 79 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Partly cloudy today, slight chance for showers, high near 93. A woman found dead after a boat capsized in Lake Michigan near north suburban Winnetka is identified by authorities. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office identified 53-year-old Kristen Bolin as the person who was pulled from the water on Monday morning. She was with another woman who sailed from Evanston in a boat on Sunday before it capsized. The other woman was able to swim to safety and ask for help. Investigators are looking into a deadly crash involving a motorcycle in suburban Mount Prospect. The collision took place Sunday near the corner of Algonquin Road and Dearborn Court. Police say the victim was found on the sidewalk and was pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities believe the motorcycle collided with the side of a Mercedes. The driver of the car was not hurt. 2 people are in custody after a hit-and-run crash on the northwest side. The collision happened Monday night in the 5,000 block of Grace Street. A driver in a dark SUV crashed into 5 parked vehicles before flipping over on the street. A witness says they saw a man and woman run away after crashing into the cars. Both were found in the area and were arrested. No charges have been announced. President Biden is clearing the way for tens of thousands of undocumented immigrants married to U.S. citizens to stay in the country. Fox's Jared Halpern has more from the White House.
The president says it is a false choice to either have a secure border or pathways to citizenship for undocumented immigrants.
Folks, I'm not interested in playing politics with the border or immigration. I'm interested in fixing it.
A new executive order will shield undocumented immigrants who have lived in the U.S. for at least 10 years and are married to a U.S. citizen protection from deportation while applying for legal status. It comes 2 weeks after President Biden signed an order restricting asylum claims when border crossings hit certain thresholds. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
News is a service of Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combining heritage and innovation in every cup. Hot air roasted locally and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee because great coffee is their family tradition. Online at papanicholas.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka is confused.
I'm
so puzzled, as you, I am sure, also are, by the fact that we've been told for 3.5 years that there is no crisis at the border. Everything's fine. But now you have to have a national address saying that asylum seekers must come here legally.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Well, the weather's warming up and summer's just around the corner. Everyone has a favorite outdoor activity: golf, bike riding, bird watching, long walks. Ask 100 people, you'll get 100 answers. But if everyday aches and pains are keeping you on the sidelines, I have one answer: Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joints, or muscles, in 3 weeks or less, you'll start to feel the difference all day, every day. So whatever you like to do, swimming, pickleball, hanging out in the garden, Relief Factor can help you feel good again and let you enjoy all your favorite outdoor activities all summer long. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads inbound. Eden's an 18-minute trip. Lake Cook Road to Montrose. The Kennedy is a half hour from O'Hare into downtown. Going inbound on the Eisenhower, 26,390 into the post office. Not too bad there. Stevenson inbound, that is getting heavy at 30 minutes, 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. 57 inbound, an accident on the exit ramp to 127 still there. Northbound Tri-State, another accident on the entrance ramp from the inbound Stevenson. Westbound Reagan, 2 right lanes blocked with debris at Finley, and westbound 8094 at Calumet Avenue, an accident in the right lane, so that is solid as well. Traffic is a service of Remke's Garage. Take it to the experts. Take it to Remke's Garage. The shop at Remke's Garage is equipped with state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment and highly trained technicians. Remke's Garage is your Sprinter, Diesel, and Toyota Tire headquarters. Visit remkeysgarage.com, that's REMKES garage.com, and schedule your inspection today. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Clouds and sun, a hot day. Thunderstorm around this afternoon. Could see some gusty wind and small hail. High 95. Thunderstorm early this evening, otherwise clearing. Low tonight 72. Partly sunny, a thunderstorm for tomorrow. A high 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final and most essential command. That's Orwell from 1984, of course, and that's where we sort of are. Nicole Wallace, living down to that characterization of the party by Orwell. And MSNBC being an organ of the party, and Nicole Wallace backing KJP's play. There is this effort afoot to make you believe that Mr. 10% is frail, that he is in cognitive decline, and nothing could be further from the truth.
There's a growing and insidious trend in right-wing media, broadcast, print, and social media. It is to take highly misleading and selectively edited videos of President Biden directly from Republican National Committee social media accounts and then use those videos to spread messages virally to cast doubt on President Biden's fitness for office. Here is this headline from the New York Post, quote, Biden appears to freeze up, has to be led off stage by Obama at Megabucks LA fundraiser. The full video posted by Biden finance chair on Twitter shows something entirely different. Biden reacting to applause and then walking off stage with former President Obama. It comes less than 1 week after the New York Post made a cover out of another piece of deceptively edited tape, calling him meanderer-in-chief due to what they claim was Biden walking away during a skydiving demonstration during the G7 summit last week. The only problem is that the full video, which emerged almost instantly, shows Biden was going over to congratulate one of the skydivers who's cropped out of the video entirely. Both the articles are based on cheap fakes, videos of real events that are intentionally manipulated to fool viewers, released on an RNC opposition research social media account with zero independent fact-checking by these so-called journalists and spread throughout the right-wing ecosystem. And we would take the hand-wringing by right-wing media about Biden's mental fitness in videos intentionally manipulated to make him look unfit, maybe a little more seriously if they weren't radio silent about the repeated, glaring, and real mental lapses happening behind podiums and on camera on the part of Donald Trump.
Exactly. Don't believe your lying eyes and ears. It is not Biden who is mentally unfit for office. It's Trump.
Oh, right. Because he mispronounced some things here and there.
He called his doctor Ronnie Jackson. He called him Ronnie Johnson. So he's DQ'd. And
wow.
Nothing that you've seen from Biden over the last 3 years, not just these two most recent incidents that they're trying to recast, but the last 3 years would suggest that there is, any sort of decline. Again, you've heard from the party and their House organs. And so pay no attention to, well, obviously the vast right-wing conspiracy that is doctoring these videos, that is engaged in the production of these cheap fakes to make you believe something which clearly isn't true. And look, KJP, she's out there too. They're doing the job of fact-checking. They've got to make sure that you don't fall prey to the vast right-wing conspiracy.
I think there is so much misinformation, disinformation, as we've been talking about. You talked about the video of the president wandering, and it's not true, right? The president wasn't wandering. He was talking to a parachuter that was right in front of him. And what you saw is the Republican Party really manipulating what was being said and what was being seen by the American people. It's also very insulting to the folks the viewers who are watching it. And so we believe we have to call that out. We've been calling it cheap fakes. That is something that came directly from the media outlets and calling it that, the fact checkers and calling it that. And so we're certainly going to be really clear about that as well and calling it out from where we are, from where we stand.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way,
yeah.
I like that. If I could offer a friendly amendment to the Orwell line about the party and ignoring your eyes and ears being the essential command. The party in actual 2024 America, as opposed to 1984, the party and the fact checkers.
Okay.
You got to include the fact checkers now. That's part of it.
Kind of like the word they. Who's they? Oh, who are the fact checkers? But then we have yesterday, Dan, at that DACA anniversary event, people behind Biden, President Biden, were visibly concerned when he had another senior moment. Here it is. And I can translate this for you if you need it.
Thanks to all the members of Congress and Homeland Security Secretary. I'm not sure I'm going to introduce you all the way. Security Secretary, I'm not sure going to do so.
What do you think
He's just. I mean, it's obvious that he's just clearing his throat.
Oh.
And then he went on to deliver a powerful message to provide people living in the shadows a pathway to citizenship, productive people who contribute to this country, who pay taxes, who have families, a way to be legal here. He did it heroically. We're doing the work. We're building back better. And this president has so many legislative accomplishments. I wish we could talk about his legislative accomplishments. And stop with the misinformation and disinformation. Those sorts of questions and those sorts of insinuations are insidious, and they have all the classic earmarks of a Russian information campaign,
you're really
just like
good at
Hunter
this.
Laptop, which was also fake.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. In all seriousness, though, if he has a senior moment like this during the debate, which his past 2 weeks' behavior makes me think that, a week from tomorrow might not be good. I think Trump should treat him with sympathy and empathy and be like, Joe, hey, are you okay? Do you need a moment?
Trump's not even going to show up, says Jim Carville. He's too afraid.
Oh,
and because Trump, as you just heard from Nicole Wallace, Trump is the one who actually does not have the mental acuity to do the job.
Here's Crazy Man Carville.
Okay, I just think...
You don't think Trump's coming next week?
I don't know, but if I was, I think he's going to wake up and say and decide. He just like he said he was going to testify in his defense of his trial. He couldn't even put on a defense. Let him show up. I wouldn't be shocked, but I certainly would not be surprised. If you gave me even money, I'd say he's a no-show. He'll just get up in the morning and say, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
He's just going to sit that one out.
Well, he's too afraid to go up against the prowess of a Joe Biden, the intellectual heft of a Joe Biden, as he demonstrates every day when he's doing the work to build back better.
Who said it was hard to keep up with him sometimes? Is that Secretary Mayorkas?
Yeah,
because he's a really good liar, that one.
Jill Biden says, I mean, she calls him Thumper. I mean, she said, and he's just...
Did she call him Pound Town?
He's insatiable, is what I understand from Jill Biden. So, anyway, ironically, except not ironically, all of this cheap fakes business. So, the left is actually putting out what I guess KJP would call a cheap fake on Trump to try to put the attention back on Trump here. That's the one who's really unfit. He tells some bizarre story about sharks at a rally. He calls Ronnie Johnson Ronnie Jackson. He's losing it.
He's losing his mind.
So they posted this picture or this picture of him with the statement that like Don Jr. had to hold Don Jr.'s hand to get on stage. On the stage, so you see him on stage, walking on the stage, and Don Jr.'s below.
I think he's just saying, "Hey, son, how are you?"
But you see the video, and he walks up by himself, and then Don Jr. comes in, and he just reaches down to shake his hand. He didn't need help getting up the stairs. But anyway, all of this mental fitness kind of stuff, physical fitness kind of stuff is sort of immaterial to me, but I know there's a lot of attention paid to it. I don't like to lower expectations, particularly for Joe Biden. And one of the things that I continue to say is take the left at their word. Fine. Joe Biden is an intellectual dynamo. He is a bundle of energy. Mm-hmm. He's working 18 hours a day. He's writing legislation. He's penning speeches. He's waxing philosophic about the future of our country.
He's signing executive orders. I mean, he's a busy man.
He's exacting. He's tenacious. He's relentless. He's indomitable. Fine. Let's see it on the stage. Let's just see what happens. I'm game. Matt, South Bend, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Matt.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for taking... Hello, you there?
Yep, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Thank you for taking my call. I think for the most part, you've got Biden with 50 years experience in the government and just pushes down. He could do executive orders like he canceled Trump's orders. It's just, there's no measure. The weight versus Trump having 4 years in there and just overtaking it. and Biden's mumbling and blah, 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 blah. It's disheartening just even to watch. Put him away. Give him a chance to go out to stud or whatever they want him to do.
Thanks for the call, Matt. Dave and Racine.
Yes, I believe that the folks at MSNBC are right. Biden is sharp as a tic-tac. He's as smart as a whip, a licorice whip, and he's got the vigor of a 25-year-old dog.
Oh,
All right, Dave. John in Portage Park.
I think he practiced that one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, good morning, Amy and Dan. If you remember the book Winston in 1984,
yeah,
Winston was
Smith,
kind of a fact checker. Winston Smith, the main character.
Yes,
he
right.
Was kind of a fact checker, but his job was changing history, and this is so close to 1984. What's going on now? And I just recommend the book, and it's a beautiful book, along with Animal Farm, and it's great. Read Orwell. Thank you very much.
Yeah, yes, exactly. We almost need like a collector set of dystopian novels to get through the present, don't we? We'll have to put together Fahrenheit 451, Brave New World, Harrison Bergeron. There's a lot of prescient or reading of prescient novels to do.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560, The Answer.
Conveyors keep your products moving, but when they break down, it can cost your company time and money. If you need help with conveyors, call a company that has the expertise and capability to help.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. I've got over 40 years of personal experience in dealing with conveyors and their related parts. At Vans, we install and maintain all types of conveyors, including screw conveyors, belt conveyors, drag conveyors, and bucket elevators. And if you need related conveyor chutes, drives, guards, or dust collection, we can design and install all of these components for your conveyor system.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics insured at the highest levels to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to schedule your conveyor inspection today. That's 833-VANSIND. Visit them online at vansindustrial.com. That's VANSindustrial.com. Vans Industrial, working safe since 1964.
All right, before we get to our business here, Tony, Southside, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Tony.
Tony, you there?
Tony.
Tony. Well,
Tony.
Southside. No, Tony.
Where's Doug?
Yeah, I'm here now.
Oh, hey, Tony. There it is, Tony. All right.
Longest introduction.
You're on.
I know.
These newfangled machines. I know. Okay.
Yeah. So, I just want to let you guys know that I am a proud supporter of LGBTQ. Basically, let's get Biden to quit.
There you go.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Tony.
Never heard that one before. That's good.
Let's get Biden to quit. Yeah, wait. What was the other one? The LGBT party, which was the love, guns, bacon, and Trump. Yeah, that's a good one, too. Okay, if you're feeling tired, lacking motivation, drive, gaining weight, or noticing a loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs you're not Joe Biden, who is a powerhouse. It also could be signs of low testosterone. Don't wait. Find out. At Low T Center, they make it easy to get your levels checked. It's just a simple blood test. And with their on-site lab, you get your results back in about 25 minutes. Low T Center is not your typical doctor's office. Their physicians specialize in treating low testosterone with customized treatment for each patient. The experts at Low T have more than a decade of experience helping patients achieve life-changing results, and most health insurance is accepted for treatment. For established patients with stable T levels, they also offer a convenient, physician-monitored, self-inject treatment plan that ships directly to your home each month, so there's no need to come in for weekly visits. And at Low T Center, your BMI and health can also be evaluated for treatment with prescription weight loss medication. So get back to your best and tell them Dan Prof sent you. When you do, go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. Again, that's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey, business owners, are you wondering how to grow your business? Do you need cash flow and a ready source for financing? Well, Signature Bank can help. Hi, Mike Gallagher here to let you know that Signature Bank's loan decisions are made locally by a team who knows your name. cares about your business, and is invested in your success. When you need advice about your business or even have a question, Signature Bank is there to help. There are no handoffs or call centers. This is a team that wants to get to know you and your business. That's why Signature Bank in Chicago is my bank. That's right. I'm a customer. When I call, someone picks up the phone on the other end. And with Signature Bank, I can securely bank anywhere, anytime. Reach out to my friends at Signature Bank. Call 773-467-5630. That's 773-467-5630. Or visit them online at signaturebank.bank. Signaturebank.bank. Your business could be Signature Bank's next success story. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Oh, it's going to be a hot one out there and a long day during our golf tournament, but we're looking forward to it, and I can't wait. And I'm going to bring with me some Balance of Nature. Why? Well, when I get hungry, I chew on those fruit capsules, and voila, it's a great treat. 6 capsules, you're getting 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables. It is the best supplement out there. I've been taking it for 10 years, and it gives you energy, and I need some more of it today, that's for sure. 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Use coupon code Chicago. First-timers get 35% off and free shipping, or go online to balanceofnature.com. Coupon code Chicago.
Hi, it's Sean Thompson here. You know when you're at the mall and you go to those directory signs, the one that says you are here? Well, imagine that directory is a map of your preparation for retirement. Would you know where you are? My friend Tom Fortino at Alpha Wealth Group is offering you the opportunity to not only find yourself on that map, but also find the route toward a successful retirement. He calls it his retirement roadmap. You'll get an analysis of where you are right now, whether you're at risk if the market drops again, whether you're taking advantage of the latest tax changes, and much, much more. To get an idea where you stand on the road to retirement, call my friend Tom Fortino at the Alpha Wealth Group today at 630-934-1855. That's 630-934-1855. And ask for the retirement roadmap, or visit alphawealthgroup.com. And don't forget to listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings right here on AM 560, The Answer at 9 a.m.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, Dan, are you familiar with Harry Enton? He's the CNN senior data reporter.
One of the fact checkers. So it's the party and the fact checkers right there with Nicole Wallace.
Right. He's one of the fact checkers, okay? And he had to tell the world that, Trump's gaining in the black community.
Among black voters, compare where we were at this point in 2020, compare where we are now. At this point, look at this. In 2020, Joe Biden was getting 86% of the African-American vote. Look at where it is now. It's 70%. That's a 16-point drop, John. And more than that, it's not just that Joe Biden is losing ground, it's that Donald Trump is gaining ground. You go from 7%, single digits at this point in 2020, to now 21%. And again, John, I keep looking for signs that this is going to go back to normal, and I don't see it yet in the polling. If anything, right now we're careening towards a historic performance for a Republican presidential candidate, the likes of which we have not seen in 6 decades.
Yeah, well, I'm continuing to hold on to my dream that the Republican Party can replace middle-income, working Black and Latino families, use them to replace the desire to even pay attention to the pro-abortion, pro-trans graduates of one of the 7 sisters who live in Naperville and Downers Grove and Hinsdale, to tell those awfuls that we will never talk to them again and have a happy life because we're done with you. We don't need you. If the Republican Party could see its way to that with support from Black and Latino families, that would be swell.
Oh, and the mainstream media, you know how Trump went to visit that black church in Detroit? They're saying, but there's white people in the audience. That was their response. Because he was there while Biden was with, those washed-up Hollywood stars.
I have to remark upon the passing of the Say Hey kid. Willie Mays passing at the age of 93, yet it was announced yesterday. And possibly, I think arguably the greatest baseball player of all time. You've got arguments on that, but in terms of greatest all-around player, of course, the catch and the Polo Grounds in 1954. against the tribe back then. That was back when you could call them the Cleveland Indians.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they were called the tribe.
Well, they were called the Indians. And to say hey, you know where he got the nickname from? He had this sort of like high-pitched way of saying hey instead of saying hi or hello.
Oh.
And so I think it was a baseball sports writer coined him the say hey kid. But anyway, great American and, one of, if not the greatest ball player to ever live.
A good life. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
7:37, we'll talk to Steve Moore about Fisker's bankruptcy and Biden's gambit on amnesty. That's at 7:37.
And the fake feud is working. We'll explain. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 80 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Partly cloudy today with a slight chance for showers, high near 93. Police say a man is hospitalized after he was shot in the face during a verbal dispute on the southwest side. The crime happened Tuesday morning in the 6400 block of South Mozart. The victim was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital in stable condition. No one is in custody. Planned Parenthood of Illinois is celebrating the reopening of the Peoria Health Center after it was firebombed last year. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held yesterday at the facility in North Knoxville Avenue. It reopened following more than a year of renovations. Tyler Messingill pleaded guilty to placing a Molotov cocktail inside the clinic in January of 2023. Prosecutors say he did so because he believed his ex-partner had received an abortion there. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. The Illinois Department of Public Health is warning Illinoisans to take preventative actions to avoid heat-related illnesses. Officials say exposure to extreme heat can cause serious health complications, including heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Residents should stay in air-conditioned areas during the hottest hours of the day. Wear light-colored, loose-fitting clothing, stay hydrated, and avoid unnecessary hard work or activities outside. Temps are expected to remain in the 90s for the rest of the week throughout the state. News is a service of Woodland Windows and Doors in Roselle. Brighten your home this summer and make the rooms in your house look bigger with fiberglass replacement windows by Infinity from Marvin. Schedule an appointment by June 30th for 10% off installation. Visit woodlandwindows.com today. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Mike Gallagher sees another game from the White House.
Biden pulling an executive order out of his you-know-what is one of the most comical examples of political pandering I've ever seen in my life. Biden insisted, I can't close the border. I don't have the authority to do that. Evidently, when the polls show you're going to lose, suddenly you can find a way.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Let me ask you this. Are you not able to enjoy this summer as much as you want because of joint pain? Well, this is the best time for being outdoors, but not if your knees, shoulders, back, or hips are hurting. Hey, it's Amy Jacobson, and don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here from our good friends at QC Kinetics. Call them today. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Walk, run, hike, play golf, move again pain-free. So stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. They're open on Saturdays, now with new locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
My name is Dr. Zhang. I'm a doctor of podiatric medicine.
My name is Todd. I'm a paramedic firefighter. I've been on the job for 28 years.
My name is Dr. Peter Munda. I'm a chiropractor in New York, Long Island.
I've been taking Balance of Nature for 23 years.
I love Balance of Nature, and this is definitely a product that I would recommend to other people, and I'll never stop taking it.
How many 70-year-old pictures you know? As far as Balance of Nature goes, I'll keep taking this stuff until the day I die, you know?
I'm almost 55 years old, and because I have so much vitality, I can really enjoy the great outdoors. Our bodies are kind of like machines. If you do not give the machine the proper nutrition, it's not going to work very well. Simple as that.
Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off plus $10 off any additional sets as a preferred customer by using discount code CHICAGO.
BP's Whiting Refinery is hosting a community night on Thursday, June 20th from 3 to 7 p.m. Come learn more about how an oil refinery works, products made, and the people who make it run. There will be food, fire trucks, and STEM activities for kids. It's the Whiting Refinery Community Night, Thursday, June 20th from 3 to 7 at the Mascot Hall of Fame, 1851 Front Street in Whiting.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads. Good news on the inbound Edens, that is open, Lake Cook Road to Montrose. The Kennedy, 25 minutes in from O'Hare to the Jane Byrne interchange. Inbound Eisenhower, it's a half hour, 390 into the post office with an accident at California. Inbound Stevenson at 25, 355 into downtown. Southbound 55, beware of an accident on the exit ramp to Route 53. Accident northbound DuSable Lakeshore Drive at Roosevelt. Southbound Tri-State, another accident at Roosevelt that is off to the left side. Westbound Jane Addams, a stall on the left shoulder at the Tri-State, and it is slowing westbound 8094 Chase to Calumet Avenue. Traffic is a service of Windy City Safes. What are you doing to keep your most prized possessions safe? Windy City Safes is Chicagoland's only Liberty Safe dealer. With Liberty Safes, you're not just getting a safe, you're getting peace of mind. Visit the Nile Showroom, call 224-LOCKBOX, or online at WindyCitySafes.com. That's WindyCitySafes.com. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Hot day today, intervals of sun and clouds, a thunderstorm in the area. Gusty winds and hail could come with that, high 95. Thunderstorm in spots early this evening, then clearing tonight, low 72. Partly sunny, warm thunderstorm for tomorrow, the high 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. You know who's building back better in reality? I thought this guy had a lot of star potential, and so far he's living up to expectations. Javier Milei in Argentina. Annualized inflation in Argentina was running at 26% when Milei took over. It's 4.2% now. So it's still punishing, but
they're going in the right direction.
That's a big move in a short period of time, partly because Milei, an economist, understands the basics. He famously said, if printing money could end poverty, printing diplomas could end stupidity. And we know that doesn't work. That's because essentially what so many universities do these days is print diplomas, and high schools for that matter. So Milei, he's moving a legislative agenda. Can he govern? Yeah, actually he can, at least so far. Mary Anastasia O'Grady had a good piece about Milei in Argentina this week in the Wall Street Journal, where she notes his, albeit scaled back, but his legislative agenda is moving through the legislature there in Argentina, and but he still has one big thing to do, something that he promised to do. As she writes, all well and good except for one thing in terms of him moving forward. I'm saying his legislative agenda, as I was saying. Everything Milei is doing can be undone by the next president, including fiscal balance and price stability. If he wants to make Argentina a booming destination for capital, he will put the Argentine state in a straitjacket by closing the central bank and doing the one thing from which politicians cannot escape: dollarize. And it's additionally interesting that that was his commitment, and O'Grady, I think, is probably arguing that he needs to get about moving forward on that commitment. In a time when, our petrodollar agreement with Saudi Arabia expired and was not renewed, and there's all this concern, some of it legitimate, about America's place as the reserve currency, because to lose that status as the world's reserve currency would certainly be detrimental to our economic well-being. For more on this and other matters, pleased to be joined by Steve Moore, economist, author of GovZilla. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Steve? Do we have Steve?
Oh, sorry about that, Dan. I was muted. Can you hear me now?
This guy's these old men and the mute buttons on their phones are mystifying. I know.
We're 2-0 this morning on that.
I'm getting old. Anyway, I was going to say that I agree with everything you said except one thing, Dan. You said their inflation rate was running at 26%. Are you kidding? I mean, in a recent year, they had inflation of over 100%.
No, I was just saying when he took over, when Milei took over, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it just got so bad that people literally, I mean, you talk about dollarizing, the economy was de facto dollarizing because nobody ever even used the Argentine peso anymore. I mean, it was at some point it was practically not even worth the paper it was written on. And this is what happens, by the way, every time you have these runaway progressive left-wing Marxist governments where they keep, this is for the people and blah, blah, blah. And they bankrupt the country. They destroy the currency. They run up their debt. Oh, wait. That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Where have we seen that? Oh, yeah, that's happening in slow motion in Washington, D.C. right now.
Well, but I mean, it has to be encouraging to see what Milei is doing and finding some initial success, not just because of it turns around Argentina, which is an important country, an important economy, but also it provides a model that will be replicated because people like to follow successful models.
Yeah, you know what's so interesting about the Argentine and really actually heartbreaking about the Argentina story is that I think you guys know this because you're a great students of history, but back at the turn of the last century, when around 1900, Argentina was like the fourth or fifth richest country in the world. Did you know that?
Yeah.
And in fact, it had a per capita GDP that was only slightly lower than the United States. Which is hard to believe, that you could screw things up. That then what happened, of course, was that the Perón came into power,
right?
And they were celebrated by the left. I mean, my God, they Evita is all about Eva Perón and what a great leader she was. Of course, she was a tyrant and she destroyed the country as well as her husband. But they're still, held up as heroes. They destroyed the country, and it went from one of the richest countries in the world to one of the poorest countries in South America. And it's hard to believe.
And ironically, Madonna, who played Eva Perón in the movie, destroyed America. So see the symmetry there.
And a plastic surgeon destroyed her face.
Well, yeah, turnabout's fair play.
That guy should be fired.
Yeah, well.
But why is it? This is the problem. There's a serious point here, which is we cannot allow, as free market lovers of liberty, we win the debates, but they write the history, right? And they rewrite the history. I mean, you have all these historians. Oh, Che Guevara, all these great leaders, who brought Marxism. They still think Fidel Castro was a hero.
Well, talking a little bit more locally, since most of our listeners are not going to move to Buenos Aires anytime soon. Where are we with inflation, consumer sentiment? How are people generally feeling about making ends meet?
So I wrote my column this week. I have a column that'll be in the Wall Street Journal, I think, on Friday, and I'll give you a sneak preview of it because it's really close to the question you asked. And so I want people to understand that there was. Have you guys ever heard of something called modern monetary theory?
Of course.
Yeah.
We think
for those
troglodytes?
who don't follow this stuff that closely, I mean, I know you, Dan, and Amy. Amy's more of a normal person.
Yes,
yeah.
I think there's a compliment in there somewhere.
Right. So for people who that is a compliment. Yeah, absolutely. And so the modern monetary theory was this really crackpot idea that a bunch of these economists came up with at some second-rate universities that said, hey, a country like the United States, we can just spend and spend and spend and borrow and borrow and borrow, and we can use essentially the Argentina model, right? And we can use it here in the United States, and it'll be great, and everybody will do better. And then, we also, people like you and me, Dan, we laughed at this idea because it was such an idiotic idea. But Biden basically came in and said, yeah, let's do this. People like Paul Krugman, a Nobel Prize winner, said, yeah, remember the Obama stimulus that didn't work? Remember that, Dan?
I do, yes. The fund shovel-ready projects. Yes, oh, yes.
Yeah, all that stuff. Well, it didn't work. The economy went into the ditch. And so what did they say? Oh, you know what? We didn't spend enough money. If we spent 5 times more money. So Biden tried that. And now this is a long-winded way to say that, there's a reason that everything you buy is 25% more expensive than it was 3.5 years ago.
I know, but
you borrow and your prices go through the roof.
Right. And we handed out tens of thousands, millions, trillions of dollars to Americans during COVID.
That's right.
What I learned yesterday on FoxNews.com, the average Wisconsin family is paying $976 more a month for the basket. And the basket is like groceries, gas, homeowners insurance, which is true, car insurance. My car insurance went up 35%. Electric bill, gas bill. How are you? Are you? And I don't know if you're working with him, President Trump, on the debate, which is a week from tomorrow. How are you helping him get that message across, and what a solution or plan that he has?
Well, look, we're going to make first of all, this is not a complicated answer because, and I have talked to Trump about this, but Trump's going to do what he's going to do. And he's good in these debates. He's simply going to say, look, when I was president, the inflation rate was 2%. When Biden was president, it went up to 9%, and we're still, at about 4% inflation. And so I think you just do the compare and contrast. We did not have an inflation problem when Donald Trump was president. In fact, when he left office, the inflation rate was 1.6%. And I laugh now, Dan and Amy, when I read these stories in the New York Times. Well, the reason the inflation is high under Biden is because of Trump. Oh, really? We didn't have any inflation under Trump. So I think that's the case. But really, if Biden loses this election, which I think he probably will, it will be in no small part because inflation is just a killer. It's destroying middle-class families. You were saying, what was the number, 900 something a month?
$976 more a month.
Yeah, so let's round that up. Let's do the math. Let's say it's 1,000.
Yeah,
it's a little less than 1,000.
Where are we getting that extra $12,000?
Yes, and that, you know what, Amy? That is a tax. In other words, I remember this. I'm not going to tax anybody who makes less than $400,000. Ladies and gentlemen, if you buy gas, if you pay a heating bill, if you pay a rental payment, if you go out to McDonald's, you are paying every time you go. Thank you, Joe Biden. You're paying a Joe Biden inflation tax. I mean, my God, a Big Mac meal is now $12.
I know.
A family of 4 goes to McDonald's. It's a $50. People can't.
We
even
went to
afford
Chipotle
McDonald's
and it was
anymore.
40 for two people at Chipotle, $42.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I mean,
yeah, right, and then the AI clown's mouth at McDonald's doesn't work, so that's not fun either.
Yeah.
So,
guys, do you remember the dollar menu? They used
Oh,
some
yeah.
of those fast food
That was fun.
That doesn't exist anymore. Even the Bop, first it was the Whopper. You could get that for 99 cents.
making me
And then it was the Whopper Junior that was 99 cents. Now the Whopper Junior is like $4.
yeah, they don't have a dollar menu at Lane Omad where I dine. Yeah, so I don't know what you guys are talking about, but whatever. So a question about the action the big guy took, much telegraphed over the last couple of weeks, yesterday on providing path to citizenship for 500,000 spouses of American citizens who are here illegally, all part of the Build Back Better vision, Steve?
This is with respect to the migrants you're talking about?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know the exact parameters. I haven't looked exactly at the details of the plan. But by the way, if someone is in the country and they marry an American citizen, don't they automatically?
Not if they came here illegally.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, look, this is very clear, folks. And by the way, as you know, I say this every time on your show, I'm very pro-immigration. I think immigrants are incredibly important contributors to our economy. They do so much of the great hard work in this country, and we couldn't run our economy without the great contributions of our immigrants from all over the world. But now you've got 8 to 10 to 12 million illegals in the country. It is a huge, huge political problem. It's contaminating our whole immigration system. And then the question is why? Why is it that Joe Biden has let 8 to 12 million illegals into the country? And I think most inquiring minds know the answer to that question. It's because they want think up only 10% of those illegal immigrants, but that could easily determine the outcome of the election.
So, Trump on the stump is talking mass deportations, as you've undoubtedly heard. I mean, Is there any modification you would make to his rhetorical approach to immigration?
It's going to take years and years and years to undo the damage that Joe Biden has done to our immigration system. What do you do about these 8 to 10 million people that are in here in the country now? I mean, I don't know, Dan. I don't know what the solution to this. I don't want to see mass deportations, but on the other hand, anyone who's a criminal, you should be out. Anyone who cannot take care of themselves and collecting, government benefits and welfare. No, we can't provide welfare to everybody in the world. They're out. If a person is in the country, I'm just making this up as I go along. I don't know the solution, but what do you guys think about this? If they've not committed a crime other than coming into the country illegally, if they have a job, if they're working, if they're self-reliant, then maybe I'd say, okay, we'll give you, 5 or 6 years kind of probation thing. I don't know. I mean, what do you think is the solution to this? I don't really know.
I mean, I think the instinct, the commonsensical instinct that most people have is right, which is there's a rank order priority since the problem is so big. And the first thing you do is remove anybody who has committed a crime in addition to being here illegally. Absolutely. And that alone would be in the hundreds of thousands, probably. Right. So that would be a start. Prove you can do that, and then we'll have a conversation about all of the other cohorts within the illegal immigrants group. But I mean, generally speaking, I'm because of the way that this has been handled by both parties for the last since '86, I'm pretty. I'm less and less sympathetic to anybody staying here illegally who came here illegally, especially with the number of people wanting to get in legally. So I think, I think there's a back of the line at minimum that has to happen.
Well, one thing you could do, Dan and Amy, is you could have a system where, okay, if you're in the country illegally, get out. You have to get out. And then if you actually leave, and then you could apply for a visa, but you can't stay here. You got to go back. You're here in the country illegally. And look, we need.
I agree with you. I'm pro legal immigration too, but there has to be some sort of resetting of the table here under a legal regime that is knowable, that is simplified, and that is enforced.
And, the problem is, Dan, that the left, as soon as you try to deport a single person, oh, my God, they're putting them in cages. Remember that? They're going to put them in cages, the kids. And by the way, the Biden is the person who's put these people in cages, not Trump.
Hunter Biden likes his kids in cages.
Hey, now.
But
what if they have kids?
Wait a minute.
You mentioned kids.
Amy, I want to hear Amy's solution to this problem.
I think that if they have children that they are raising, dad or mom, parents are so important. Nobody can take their jobs. As long as they have kids, they've not broken any laws. They're contributing to society, and they're not, sucking off, of government. Then I think that they can stay.
You've got a good heart. You've got a good heart, Amy.
I'm a bleeding heart Republican. You didn't know that?
All right, Steve. Steve, before we let you go, since you're inside hanging with all the movers and shakers and power brokers and impresarios and so forth, so who do you think is going to be Trump's running mate?
I honestly have no idea. I mean, I think that I'm going to say this, and I know some people are going to cringe when I say this, but if Trump wants to win, which he does, he's got to pick Nikki Haley. And
Thank
Nikki
you.
Haley moves.
I have been saying that since day
moves the needle.
one.
And I'm not a huge fan like you are, but I know I like Nikki Haley. I'm not. I think there are better people than her, but
if he wants to win,
help Trump by 2 or 3 points, and that could make all the difference. Dan, you're the tiebreaker here.
Just do it to we can. Kamala and her can debate because she will destroy her, and she can as a woman. If a man is there, a man cannot do what Nikki Haley could do.
Well, fine. I'll go get a freshman from Willows Academy. I mean, that would destroy Kamala Harris in a debate, but that's easy. No, I'm not on board with that, Steve. Okay. I am absolutely not on board with that.
Who are you?
Well, I mean, it has to be a legacy pick. I mean, you have to think about 28 and beyond. So, I mean, so my dream, what I think, first of all, I don't think the VP matters that much. I still don't think it, even in this context. So I would say DeSantis. And if you can't reconcile with DeSantis, then I say Sarah Sanders. And I'd be fine with Tim Scott. And I'd be fine with J.D. Vance. That's sort of where I'm at.
J.D. Vance, he's a big government Republican.
What do you want me to say? I mean, a big government, but which?
Yeah, they're all big
other than Mike Lee and Rand Paul, who's not a big government Republican to some extent, but also, by the way, Trump is a big government Republican. I hate to break it to you.
Some ways, yeah. No, I'll throw a name out there that I think would be absolutely a total home run, and that is Kim Reynolds, the governor of Iowa.
I like Kim Reynolds, but she's 70.
She
looks
great.
Good. I know, but I mean,
I'm just saying, I didn't know she was 70.
We're all getting older.
70 is the new 60, Dan. Easy.
All right.
Exactly.
Wait. Before I let you go, I mean, I got some problems with the whole, sort of protectionist American first disposition and J.D. Vance. But what specifically are you focused on with Vance when you call him a big government Republican?
Oh, he's, basically supports all these big government spending programs, and he wants to regulate businesses. You look at his, I'll send you his record. He is siding with the Democrats on a lot of these issues. He was in favor of the CHIPS Act, the corporate welfare bill.
Right, because it was going to chip maker in Ohio, exactly that kind of stuff. No, I agree with that. I think that's fair criticism. All right. Thanks as always, Steve. Economist, Govzilla author Steve Moore. Thank you, Steve.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you turning 65 and thinking about Medicare? Or are you over 65 and haven't enrolled yet because you still have coverage at work? Either way, Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Imagine having an annual deductible of only $240. There are only two good things about aging, wisdom and Medicare. But to navigate the Medicare maze properly, you need a mentor. Best part, my guidance cost you nothing. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Medicare, then you need a local expert on your side, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than a decade. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Starts with an
Choosing where to send your kids to school is one of the most important decisions you make as parents, even as the school year has come to a merciful end. You might be thinking about where to send your kids to school in the fall. You need to know that private school might be an option for you and your family thanks to our friends at Half Price Schools. At halfpriceschools.com, you'll find many different private schools from around Chicagoland offering a full year of tuition for half of the normal price. And you can take advantage of this great opportunity. Simple. Find a private school near you, purchase a tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school this fall. HalfPriceSchools.com has schools across Chicagoland, including St. Andrew's Lutheran in Park Ridge, Christian Liberty Academy in Arlington Heights, Ravenswood Christian in Chicago, St. Peter Lutheran in Schaumburg, and many more. So don't delay. Next school year will be here. Will be here before you know it. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. Do not wait. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
AM 560. The
Answer. All right. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
Good news. The Buffalo Bills are proud to support the National Gay Flag Football League with a sponsorship to launch a chapter in Buffalo. Who should coach the Chicago Bears, which I'm sure, National Gay Flag Football League chapter team?
Okay, well, start there with Chadwick Moore.
Yeah, what's Triple Threat doing these days?
Oh, that's a good. And what the heck is going on at the White House? We'll ask him about that as well, because they've had some visitors that they're promoting. 81 degrees right now, going up to a high of 92 degrees. A chance of a thunderstorm later today. In other parts, it'll be 96 degrees. It's 8 a.m. WINT.
It's hot in the Northeast, fiery in the Southwest. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The day before summer, it's going to be sweltering. 90-plus degree temperatures from the Midwest to New England, where many don't have air conditioning, like in Caribou in northern Maine.
First excessive heat warning ever issued for this area. It doesn't matter if it was June, July, August, September. It's never happened. The heat index value up to 107 degrees.
Fox meteorologist Janice Steen, there's a state of emergency in New Mexico where 2 wildfires are scorching. One person's been killed. About 1,400 structures have burned. An entire town of 7,000 people has been evacuated. The first tropical storm of the Atlantic season could form today off the Texas Gulf Coast. Russian President Vladimir Putin got a big red carpet welcome in North Korea, which has been supplying weapons for his war in Ukraine.
The centerpiece moment of Russian President Vladimir Putin's trip to North Korea is one that cements his partnership with Kim Jong-un. The two leaders have signed a deal vowing to come to each other's aid in the face of aggression. We're told the agreement is defensive and peaceful in nature, but it raises questions about how far each country will go.
Fox's Jonathan Savage, an American soldier, gets almost 4 years in prison in Russia, where Staff Sergeant Gordon Black was convicted of stealing from the girlfriend he went to Russia to visit while on leave. President Biden raised $8 million more for his campaign last night at a fundraiser with former President Clinton.
Just a few days after a star-studded Hollywood fundraiser brought in more than $30 million. President Biden says his predecessor and Republican opponent, former President Trump, snapped after losing the 2020 election, and he's worried about preserving his freedom, referring to the former president's criminal convictions.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. The former president says
Joe Biden is humiliating our country on the world stage.
That was at a Trump rally in Racine, Wisconsin, saying if he wins that battleground state, he wins the election. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. It's 81 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. Partly cloudy today with a slight chance of showers, high near 93. The debate over the origins of COVID remain unsettled as scientists called out each other in a state Homeland Security hearing on Tuesday. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more.
At some points during the Senate hearing, witnesses spoke directly to each other. Dr. Stephen Quay, formerly at Stanford, thinks SARS-CoV-2 was likely made in a lab. He said it didn't seem to evolve before rapidly infecting people.
So SARS-CoV-2 is at 99% perfected for the receptor binding domains of humans.
Tulane professor Dr. Robert Gary, who believes COVID likely occurred naturally, addressed Dr. Quay directly.
That RBD, the receptor binding domain, is already in nature, essentially fully formed.
Another doctor who believes the virus likely came from a lab said he thought Dr. Gary committed egregious misconduct by publishing an opinion paper on the virus origin in the first month of the pandemic. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Kewanee police are asking the public for help in locating a person of interest in a homicide investigation. Investigators are looking for 26-year-old James Reed III in connection with a body found on West Division Street in Kewanee on June 8th. Illinois State Police are assisting in the investigation. A pallet company is destroyed following a fire on Chicago's west side. The blaze broke out last night at the business near Hubbard and Damon. The flames consumed the building and about 20,000 pallets stored inside. 2 firefighters suffered minor injuries while battling the fire. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. The deputy police chief of suburban Burr Ridge is on unpaid leave following a DUI arrest earlier this year in Virginia. Ryan Husarek was arrested in April while in Virginia for an FBI training course. The 19-year veteran of the department was suspended without pay for 40 days earlier this month. He will also face an internal investigation. News is a service of Quick Delivery Service. When you need same-day delivery, when you need the fastest service, when you need a last-minute delivery, call Quick Delivery Service, 847-534-2244, or go to quickdelivery.com and get a quote right now. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes, but time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
NVIDIA's market value now stands at $3.34 trillion, making it the world's most valuable company, at least for now. Its stock rose 3.5% yesterday, pushing it past Apple and Microsoft. NVIDIA could move higher. Analysts at Rosenblatt are recommending investors buy the stock. They've raised their expectations for the company, which produces chips for artificial intelligence. Regulators in the UK are investigating a merger here in the U.S. The Competition and Markets Authority is looking into whether Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, based in Texas, should be allowed to purchase California-based artificial intelligence and networking company Juniper Networks. The markets are closed today for the Juneteenth holiday. Global stocks are mixed. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola. Invested in you.
Charlie Kirk says there should be more charges.
Now, let's be frank. This is not what Hunter Biden should be getting prosecuted for. We have to be very honest. Or it's not even remotely the only thing he's done wrong. In fact, that we know of. There are hundreds of crimes here. Foreign agent registration crimes, potential cyber privacy crimes.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
My name is Dr. Zhang. I'm a doctor of podiatric medicine.
My name is Todd. I'm a paramedic firefighter. I've been on the job for 28 years.
My name is Dr. Peter Munda. I'm a chiropractor in New York, Long Island.
I've been taking Balance of Nature for 23 years.
I love Balance of Nature, and this is definitely a product that I would recommend to other people, and I'll never stop taking it.
How many 70-year-old pictures you know? As far as Balance of Nature goes, I'll keep taking this stuff until the day I die, you know?
I'm almost 55 years old, and because I have so much vitality, I can really enjoy the great outdoors. Our bodies are kind of like machines. If you do not give the machine the proper nutrition, it's not going to work very well. Simple as that.
Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off plus $10 off any additional sets as a preferred customer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Let me ask you this. Are you not able to enjoy this summer as much as you want because of joint pain? Well, this is the best time for being outdoors, but not if your knees, shoulders, back, or hips are hurting. Hey, it's Amy Jacobson, and don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here from our good friends at QC Kinetics. Call them today. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Walk, run, hike, play golf, move again pain-free. So stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. They're open on Saturdays, now with new locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955.
Well, the weather's warming up and summer's just around the corner. Everyone has a favorite outdoor activity: golf, bike riding, bird watching, long walks. Ask 100 people, you'll get 100 answers. But if everyday aches and pains are keeping you on the sidelines, I have one answer: Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joints, or muscles, in 3 weeks or less, you'll start to feel the difference all day, every day. So whatever you like to do, swimming, pickleball, hanging out in the garden, Relief Factor can help you feel good again and let you enjoy all your favorite outdoor activities all summer long. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek taking a look at the roads. Inbound Edens looks good. Outbound is tight Peterson to Gulf. Going in on the Kennedy, a 22-minute ride, O'Hare on in. And the Eisenhower, that slows down to 30 minutes, 390 into the post office. Stevenson inbound at 25, 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. And then we're seeing delays on the outbound Stevenson because of an accident at Pulaski. It's slowing down into that. Skyway 57, Fort All good. DuSable Lakeshore Drive is improving. In fact, south looks good for the most part. Just a little tight Soldier Field to 18th. Scattered delays on the Reagan and the Tri-State. Beware of a stall eastbound Reagan at Finley that is blocking the right lane. No troubles to report along the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Traffic is a service of Fox Valley Coins. Bring your gold or silver in store today. Each item is priced right in front of you. The coins never leave your sight. Receive cash or check right on the spot. FoxValleyCoins.com. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now a check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Clouds and sun, a hot day. Thunderstorm around this afternoon. Could see some gusty wind and small hail. High 95. Thunderstorm early this evening, otherwise clearing. Low tonight 72. Partly sunny, a thunderstorm for tomorrow. High 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We've been talking about Dr. Eitan Haim, the Texas surgeon who revealed that Texas Children's Hospital was secretly performing gender transition surgeries on minors after the hospital declared it had stopped those procedures. We've been talking about that ever since Chris Rufo reported on it, and then Haim came forward as the whistleblower. And we told you last week he has now been arrested and charged with multiple felonies, such that he is facing up to 10 years in prison for blowing the whistle on procedures that are now illegal in the state of Texas because he violated HIPAA laws, they allege, and he intended to cause malicious harm to Texas Children's Hospital, the government alleges. Haim, who maintains his innocence, points to the fact that he redacted the names of the patients to protect their privacy. As I maintained from the very beginning, I've done nothing wrong. As doctors, we make an oath to do no harm. What the DOJ is doing is criminalizing that very oath. He has said, I know I risk losing everything. Mostly I'm scared because I might miss the birth of my first child, but it's scarier thinking about what kind of country we're going to live in if this is allowed to stand. Yeah. And now we find out that a nurse at the same Texas Children's Hospital named Vanessa Savage was also a whistleblower. She had just accepted a position as a registered nurse at Texas Children's Hospital. She wanted to be a nurse since high school, felt a sense of joy in helping children. This is Chris Rufo again reporting at City Journal. But her feelings toward Texas Children's Hospital didn't last. Beginning in 21, Savage saw a dramatic rise in the number of transgender children treated at the hospital. These patients struggle with various problems: depression, anxiety, addiction, suicide attempts, physical abuse, discomfort with puberty. But rather than deal with these underlying psychological conditions, Savage says doctors at the hospital would diagnose them with gender dysphoria and assign them to a regimen of gender-affirming care. The practice made Savage recoil. In the cardiac clinic, we were taking kids and making them better. In the transgender clinic, it was the opposite. We were harming these kids, she says. 2 months after Rufo spoke to her about his story, in terms of what was going on at Texas Children's Hospital, he got a call from her in a panic because the FBI sent 2 special agents to her home. The agents knocked on her door, asked her about, quote, some of the things that have been going on at her work lately. They were told Savage she was a person of interest in an investigation targeting the whistleblower who had exposed the child sex exchange program at Texas Children's Hospital. According to Savage, this is her quoted, "They threatened me. They promised they would make my life difficult for me if I was trying to protect the leaker. They said I was not safe at work and claimed that someone at my workplace had given my name to the FBI." Hey guys, can you find out who leaked the Dobbs decision? While you're out there looking for leakers, find who left out the cocaine in the White House while you're out there looking for trying to clear some cases. This is where it's at. The pro-life dad in Pennsylvania attending a Latin mass in the Richmond, Virginia area, exposing the gruesome practices of a hospital that is lying to the public about what it's doing or not doing, and it was doing something that is now illegal in the state of Texas. Going back to our conversation earlier in the program, why things are so vitriolic? They're so vitriolic because the state is so overbearing and autocratic, censorious, thuggish. That's why.
And they're taking parental rights away from parents.
For more on this and other matters, please be joined by Chadwick Moore, New York Times bestselling author of Tucker, the definitive biography of Tucker Carlson, contributing editor at Spectator World, and you can also get his writings at his Substack, which is substack.com at Chadwick Moore. Chadwick, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, great to be with you guys. Thanks for having me.
So how about, this case now has been really ratcheted up at Texas Children's Hospital. It's certainly not the only such institution that has been engaged in this sort of business. But now that we've got an indictment of a young doctor, it's getting a little bit more attention. And what does that say, in your opinion, about where the T and the LGBT part of the movement currently resides?
Well, it's the T is at the front of the alphabet now. In fact, there's a state park here in New York City where I live that is named after a fake supposedly a transgender person who was big in the gay rights movement in the early years, around 60. Marsha P. Johnson was never at Stonewall. Wasn't actually trans, identified as a male cross-dresser, etc. But this person's been elevated, and the park, the big plaque when you enter the park says it's to celebrate the TLGBT community, TLGBTQ community.
We have to rearrange the letters now?
Rearrange the letters, which has happened before. The original acronym was GLBD.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember
times.
that. Yeah.
Yes. And then most of the nonprofits are run by lesbians, so they moved the L to the front. And now the T in some places, especially a state park here in New York City, is recognized as a TLGBTQ community. The T to the front. The T to the front for many reasons. Firstly, it's fundraising. This is why the T is so important. You're still talking about a tiny percentage of the population, still far under 1% that's transgender. And of course, you have these studies supposedly from these horrible organizations like GLAAD come out and say 20% of the youth identifies as LGBTQ, and they're really talking about the Q, which just means passion. It means I'm a spicy straight person and I want to call myself queer. So fundraising this, firstly, these people, they need these organizations, what we call Gay Inc. They need a cause and they need something to raise money on because gay people are certainly obviously fine in this country. They have every right as everyone else. It's not like they're living in Gaza or somewhere. And you've got that issue, but then you've also got the kind of the darker, bigger picture issue that a lot of these communist groups love the T because it dismantles reality. It's something that if you can convince people that a man is a woman and a woman is a man, you can convince them of absolutely anything. And then, of course, there's got to be a business aspect to it, too. These people are medicalized humans. They're going to need medical attention for the rest of their lives. And there's obviously a lot of money in that to convincing people they need hormones and other therapies forever. So these are the sort of forces that we're dealing with. And the government, as you very rightly put it, is antagonizing people into believing this ideology and supporting this.
Yeah, the enforcement mechanism. When is Two-Spirit going to get its day at the front of the alphabet? That's what I want to know.
Oh, it's coming.
So during this Pride Month, 3 teenagers in Spokane, Washington, were arrested for using their Lime scooters. They left skid marks on the Trans Pride mural. What's going to happen to them?
Oh, heavens no, not skid marks. They were arrested with felony mischief, and I believe they're still looking into as a hate crime, which could be up to 10 years in prison. Well, one's 19, the other two were minors. So for the 19-year-old, it would be the 10 years. This incident, first of all, these flags,
they're everywhere.
It's like, they're everywhere. It used to be, you'd have the gay neighborhood. You'd have Boys Town in Chicago or West Hollywood, and there'd be one intersection with a rainbow crosswalk, and it was funded by like a local business, and nobody cared. Now you've got this Trans Progress Pride flag, which is, it's that rainbow flag that has a kind of transgender triangle of terror burrowing in from the side. This painted on the sidewalks everywhere. Places like Alexandria, Virginia. Places like I was in Iceland last summer, and there's this archipelago off the coast of Iceland called the Westman Islands. There's 6 million puffins who live on the island and 4,000 people. And the main street there had the rainbow pride trans flag painted up it. It doesn't make any sense, except that and you're like, I think I'm actually the only gay person on this island right now, but thank you for the welcome.
Yeah. Well, what about the puffins? We got that NBC gay Animal Planet thing going on this week too. So I mean, don't forget about the gay puffins.
Yeah, and that it is a kind of a gay bird when you look at them. So yeah, that's
well, don't tell him that. He's still waiting to come out. But these kids, though, but Lime, the company, they had a kill switch then, so nobody could even get close to that, sacred gender flag that was on the ground. But do you really think that these kids might go to jail for this?
If you asked me, 5 or 10 years ago, absolutely not. But these days, yeah, look at what they throw people in jail for anything. And for anything that violates the state religion, for anything that
exactly.
For people that don't like.
No, that's exactly. Well, I mean, it wasn't just Spokane. I mean, there was these incidents around the country because state sanctioned graffiti is okay, and the man. I mean, I saw the coverage. St. Petersburg, Florida. The coverage was like they were looking for the Unabomber. I mean, it's so over the top, but everything associated with this is over the top.
Yeah, it sure is. The same weekend that this happened in Spokane, there were federal statues vandalized with spray paint in Washington, D.C. because there was a Hamas rally. I didn't see, you're right, Lime said their scooters are going to there's a kill switch if you get too close to the mural now. I don't recall any spray paint companies clutching their pearls and saying, we hope it wasn't our product used to deface federal monuments. No, it was just this. But, it's, the fact that they're on the roads are like the ultimate symbol of government. There's like two things that everyone can agree the government should be in charge of typically, and that's roads and national defense. So when you have these painted on the roads by taxpayer money, it's the medium is the message. This is where your government said and what we stand for. It also it's so bizarre to put these things on roads. Do you recall in May at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, this photo went viral over the summer or in May because these students rushed to protect the American flag from touching the ground.
Yeah.
These groups, the transgender groups, they want their flag on the ground for like homeless people to defecate on and cars to drive over. It's such an act of disrespect for your own movement, but it also seems to only incite people to vandalize it. It's like inviting people. We want you to vandalize this. We want you to skid mark this, so then we can just prove how hated we are, and we can have a national manhunt for you.
Well, you used a word that I've been using to explain this to because there's so many useful idiots that run around with their flags and they feel like this is just sort of pro forma. This is what you have to do. It's like St. Patrick's Day. We in Chicago, you dye the Chicago River green. In Pride Month, you put out your flags. Sort of these are just like holiday traditions that are rote. But in point of fact, what you're doing is, and I'm not talking about every gay person. I'm talking about the LGBT thing as a movement. It is a Marxist movement, and so you're essentially platforming the iconography and the propaganda of a Marxist political movement because that's what it is.
That's exactly right. It's the gay rights movement was it became so well funded, so powerful, and so effective. Probably the most rapid, if you want to call it, a civil rights movement in American history from where it started to where it ended up. that it was hijacked by people who saw this power and this voting bloc. I mean, it was hijacked by the Democrat Party in the 90s. Before that, it was very, I talked to guys who were at Stonewall who were around during that time, and they were like, it was like 50, gay people were 50-50 Republican, Democrat, and nobody talked about how you voted. And the Democrat Party saw voting bloc when they saw the power of this movement, and then now you have this Marxist groups that are doing that. I mean, it's all about Marxism now, and that's why you have Queers for Palestine. That's why you have, the whole pro-Hamas movement is the same as BLM was, is the same as the LGBTQ plus is. And the goal is not ever the thing they purport to be marching for or supporting. The goal is always hatred of the West and trying to tear down Western civilization in the United States.
And what do you think of Gays for Palestine? Hello.
They're such a caricature of themselves, but I think it's exactly that. It's this. It has nothing to do with gay rights. It has nothing to do with Palestine. It's this absolute hatred. They hate Israel so much because for the same reason they hate America. They see them as sort of our ultimate capitalistic state, as a colonialist or whatever. And they see it, they smell blood in the water whenever there's a conflict between Israel and Palestine. And they see that as an opportunity to take down, a country that has values they hate. And the whole ceasefire thing is just so amazingly ridiculous because where were they demanding ceasefire in Ukraine? If they were consistent in their hatred of war, I would support that. If they were out there marching, for ceasefire in Ukraine and also in Gaza, okay, great. You actually do care about human lives. No, you don't. It's a political movement.
I wanted to get your sort of handicapping in advance of the upcoming season, do a little sort of prognostication with us. I'm talking obviously about the National Gay Flag Football League, and I don't know, what kind of team Buffalo is putting together, but I do know that the Buffalo Bills are sponsoring a chapter in Buffalo for the National Gay Flag Football League, and I just thought, you would want to opine in terms of power rankings for the upcoming season.
Yeah, I need to watch more gay flag football to figure that out.
yeah. I mean, or WNBA. I mean, it's a close approximation. Yeah.
Right.
He's a Hawkeye, so I'm sure he likes Caitlin Clark, right?
Oh, you're a Hawkeye too?
Yes, we're everywhere, Dan. You can't escape us. We're like the cicadas in the summer of 2024.
Short lifespan.
Chad Wickmore, I want to ask you. I want to just tell you real quick. You and I have the same pet peeve. Be safe. During COVID, when people tell me, I would say, no, be sane. That was my response. And I don't care who was telling me, whether it was a flight attendant but you had an incident recently and you wrote about it in the Spectator.com about buying pasta.
Yeah, well, that was my tipping point. It's been bugging me forever, and my tipping point was I was in a grocery store, just ran in for a box of Orzo noodles, and then of course, the little girl behind the checkout is like, "Okay, be safe," and I'm just like, "What?" All right.
Well, you don't burn yourself when you cook.
Like, are you
can't burn pasta.
I don't know. Yeah. Did you get?
It's ever gonna stop either.
I saw the Queer Eye guys were hanging out with Kamala. Did you get a White House invite?
I didn't. Can you? I'm not in a dress.
Yeah.
In a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't steal luggage from airport.
Right. So no real role in the administration. Then I understand. Disqualifying. Chad Wickmore, New York Times bestselling author of Tucker, the definitive biography of Tucker Carlson, contributing editor at Spectator World, and his Substack is substack.com/@ChadwickMoore. Chad Wickmore, thanks as always.
Thank you.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Between the Consumer Price Index, inflation, and job reports, it feels like you need a PhD in economics to fully understand the economic news happening around us every day. That's why you need the Everyday Economics Podcast. Join host Chris Krug and economist Dr. Orphe Divounguy as they help you understand the economic world happening around you every day. Listen to the Everyday Economics Podcast at americastalking.com or wherever you get your podcast.
If credit card debt is stressing you out and keeping you up at night, you need to call Team Hochberg about a fresh start debt consolidation loan. Meet Billy, 68, veteran, score 658. Income from his 2 jobs, VA benefits, and Social Security totaled $112,000 a year, living in a $275,000 home in Crystal Lake. Billy accumulated $65,000 on his credit card, so he contacted Team Hochberg about a fresh start debt consolidation mortgage. Team Hochberg loan officer Cindy Piazza helped Billy eliminate his credit card debt and saved him over $2,100 a month. Let's review. Cindy helped Billy pay off $27,000 of credit card debt and saved him more than $25,000 a year. Seriously, what are you waiting for? Team Hochberg helped Billy and thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That's 855-563-2843 or 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061.
Guys, it's summer and time to do more outdoors, but do you feel out of energy, lacking motivation and mental focus? It could be low testosterone. Low T affects millions of men and happens naturally. The solution, testosterone replacement therapy at Low T Center. It starts with a quick test and results are fast. Don't wait. Take control of your health today. And now, Low T Center is offering a free initial test. So if you're over 30, schedule a visit lowtcenter.com today. Offers good until July 6th. That's lowtcenter.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Are your file cabinets stuffed with work orders, invoices, bills of lading, medical records, and or compliance papers? There's a solution to clear the clutter by converting your documents into accessible digital form with the help of IDT. They can scan your documents for you or provide you with the technology to transform your workspace with easy and innovative IoT smart connected scanning technology. IoT smart connected scanning not only captures your information, it connects your documents directly to your existing digital systems, ensuring seamless integration and immediate access. Plus, it works with your existing Microsoft Office 365 technology. Convert those physical files into secure, searchable, easy-to-find digital formats. Goodbye, paper chaos. Hello, streamlined, secure digital environment. Visit ready4idt.com. That's ready, the number 4idt.com. IDT, putting paper in its place.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
My name is Dr. Zhang. I'm a doctor of podiatric medicine.
My name is Todd. I'm a paramedic firefighter. I've been on the job for 28 years.
My name is Dr. Peter Munda. I'm a chiropractor in New York, Long Island.
I've been taking Balance of Nature for 23 years.
I love Balance of Nature, and this is definitely a product that I would recommend to other people, and I'll never stop taking it.
How many 70-year-old pitchers, As far as Balance of Nature goes, I'll keep taking this stuff until the day I die,
I'm almost 55 years old, and because I have so much vitality, I can really enjoy the great outdoors. Our bodies are kind of like machines. If you do not give the machine the proper nutrition, it's not going to work very well. Simple as that.
Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off plus $10 off any additional sets as a preferred customer by using discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, do you think that in that National Gay Flag Football League, where the Bills are going to have a chapter? Hoping, obviously, the Bears have a chapter.
National Gay Football League?
Gay Flag Football League. You think there'll be a lot of guys playing on both sides of the balls?
Hey, you spent time thinking of that one.
Yeah.
Do we want to hear the drag queen press?
Sure.
Yeah. This is what we were talking about. What show was it?
Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
Queer for the Straight Guy. They went to visit Kamala Harris. They knocked on her door. Like, can we talk? They're walking on the
surprise visit.
Hi. We talk.
Oh.
And she's there with her husband, the second dude. And then they went and visited.
Speaking of guys playing on both sides of the balls.
Then they visited the White House press room and got behind the lectern.
Welcome everyone to the White House. I'd like to briefly answer some questions. Go ahead, I'm ready.
JVN.
Oh, yes.
Is it true that is all your natural hair?
Yes, I can confirm that this is not a wig.
Follow-up
Thank you so much for
question.
asking.
Do
No
you use your own
extensions.
products?
I do use JVN hair, actually exclusively for over 4 years. Next question.
Is it true Karamo is your favorite member of the Fab Five?
I will say that I can confirm that Karamo Brown is my favorite member of the Fab Five. I also have a very strict rule that if I'm only with one of our castmates, they are in fact my favorite.
Such fun. And he's got a full beard and a tight, really tight white long dress. They do come in bigger sizes. Just a chick tip for him.
Yeah, end of the Republic stuff. Yeah. Coming up at 8:38, Wisconsin Representative Brian Stile on what House Republicans are doing to identify what Biden agencies are doing when it comes to quote-unquote voter mobilization. 8:38.
But now let's head straight into that newsroom. Without further ado, here's Crystal Blue in for Mike Scott.
Good morning. It's 82 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Crystal Blue in the AM 560 newsroom. DNA testing is confirming that a human arm that was found on a beach in north suburban Waukegan last month belonged to a suspected murder victim from Milwaukee. The arm was discovered at the Waukegan Municipal Beach off East Seahorse Drive. The arm belongs to 19-year-old Shade Robinson, who was reported missing in April. Maxwell Anderson was arrested in Milwaukee and charged with murdering her after a first date. He has pleaded not guilty. Detectives are investigating after a 7-year-old boy was killed by a stray bullet on Chicago's west side. Mayor Brandon Johnson says these acts of violence must stop.
What kind of city we ultimately want to be? A city where children can get up and walk and ride their bikes and play? Or a city that has allowed weapons to come into the city to terrorize us?
Police say Jaimani Rivera was shot in the chest Monday in the 2300 block of West Jackson Boulevard. The gunshots were fired from outside the gates of an apartment complex. Officers immediately rendered aid and transported the victim to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. No one is in custody. News is a service of Windy City Safes. What are you doing to keep your most prized possessions safe? Windy City Safes is Chicagoland's only Liberty Safe dealer. With Liberty Safes, you're not just getting a safe, you're getting peace of mind. Visit the Niles showroom, call 224-LOCKBOX, or online at WindyCitySafes.com. That's WindyCitySafes.com. A check of the roads coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560 The Answer.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka wants you to get involved.
To win the election, we absolutely must. Everything is at stake. The planet as we know it, our democracy.
This is not your grandfather's, even your father's Democrat Party. It's lunatics, it's radicals, it's people who hate America, and we must save the nation from them. How? Get engaged.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I work for the New York City Fire Department. I've been using Balance of Nature for 8 years, I believe. It's been phenomenal. And I just got retired after 33 years. I work long hours, a lot of overtime. I teach at the Fire Academy. I run with the mornings. I work out all the time. And your product has been so successful for me in my regiment. I have nothing but high praise for you guys.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, I'm Charlie Moon. I've been in the trading game for almost 20 years, and I just discovered the most powerful trading tool I've ever seen. So if you're trading stocks or options, then listen up. This new AI-powered trade finder can find you stocks to consider trading, which have had gains as high as 1,729% and have had nearly perfect win rates. It analyzes the entire stock market in seconds and pumps out a list of trades for you to consider every single morning. And the trades it finds can be potentially profitable regardless of which direction the market is moving. So if you want in on this action, listen closely. For a short amount of time, I'm opening up free access to some of these picks and giving you the chance to get top trade ideas from the AI Trade Finder every day for 100% free. Just text TRADE to 76626. Stop trying to find the right stocks to trade on your own. Just text TRADE to 76626 now and get access to the top trades our AI finds every single day. Text TRADE to 76626. Standard text and data rates may apply. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Text TRADE to 76626.
Oh no, is this real?
What is it?
Someone or something is taking over my computer.
Wait, same thing on my computer. Is the network down?
Look, there's a message asking for ransom money.
What?
Yeah, it says, We have encrypted all of your company data, and you have to pay us to get it back.
What do we do?
Cyber attacks are real and more common than you may think, especially on small businesses. Is your company protected? At Turnkey, we don't pay ransoms because our customers are completely protected and backed up. Is your company covered? No matter what your company does, Turnkey has the solutions to protect your business with cutting-edge IT, real-time threat hunting, with help desk and network support. Turnkey keeps cyber criminals at bay for a reasonable cost. What's your company's data worth? Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. The Biden administration recently made a big splash about the president's supposed mandate to reduce asylum claims from illegal immigrants at the border. But it's important to look not at what the administration is saying, but at what it's actually doing. President Biden is now offering a path to citizenship for hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants married to U.S. citizens. It would be one of the most sweeping immigration programs in decades. It's effectively amnesty. This is in addition to the administration closing more than 350,000 asylum cases since 2022. That decision has removed any requirement for illegal immigrants claiming asylum to touch base with authorities. They can travel throughout our country without being tracked or risking deportation. So don't be fooled. The Biden administration has no interest in addressing illegal immigration. Claims to the contrary are just election year theatrics.
In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak taking a look at the roads. It's wide open on the inbound side of the Edens. The Kennedy is a 20-minute trip in from O'Hare to downtown. On the Eisenhower 25, 390 into the post office. That is improving. Stevenson inbound 25 as well. 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. The inbound Ryan looks good. That is cleared up. Skyway 57 and the Ford. Those are in good shape, but the Tri-State southbound has an accident at the Grand Avenue curve. That is in the right lane. That delay starting at Irving Park. Scattered delays on the northbound trip. Eastbound Jane Addams heavy. Meacham to Route 53. The Reagan is open, so is the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Stop and go traffic eastbound 8094. Calumet Avenue to Indianapolis Boulevard. Traffic is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, NA copyright 2024. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, but now check of your forecast from the National Weather Service.
Hot day today, intervals of sun and clouds, a thunderstorm in the area. Gusty winds and hail could come with that, high 95. Thunderstorm in spots early this evening, then clearing tonight, low 72. Partly sunny, warm thunderstorm for tomorrow, the high 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, as we talked about earlier in the program, as has been anticipated for a couple of weeks now since it was telegraphed. The big guy announced path to citizenship for about 500,000 migrants who entered this country illegally but are now married to U.S. citizens. Anyone who has lived in the country for 10 years as of Monday of this week is married to an American and poses no security or criminal threat. They will be shielded from deportation, provided work permits, 3 years to apply for citizenship, and that also includes their kids. Some 50,000 children of these spouses will also be eligible. It's DACA deja vu. I guess if it was good in Joe Obama term 2, it's even better in Joe Obama term 3. The constitutionality of, or legality of this parole in place per the federal statute is dubious, to say the least, so expect it to be litigated. But there's 500,000 votes, and I'm not talking about the migrants, but their spouses that, they're American citizen spouses that can legally vote that Biden just tried to buy off, maybe did buy off.
It's all about the Hispanic vote yesterday. That's all that was.
So here's the thing. It's not. No, it's not. No, it's not all about the Latino vote. No. It's because that's not the base of the party. The base of the party is wealthy leftist honkies in the suburbs. And they are all about the sentimental policy making. So it's in part them, and it's in part an eye towards a future reimagined electorate. The issue here, though, is what exactly is the Republican Party doing in preparation for the potential impact of the untold millions of people who have been invited to enter this country illegally and stay? And we talked about this at the beginning of the year. In fact, it was a memo by well-respected election attorney Cleta Mitchell that really prompted the conversation. She pointed to two particular vulnerabilities. One is the National Voter Registration Act in combination with Supreme Court precedents on that statute, along with state-level voter registration infrastructure, that while, federal law prohibits non-citizens from voting in federal elections, then there's the actual enforcement of said law. From Cleta Mitchell's memo, the Supreme Court ruled that states may not require documentary proof of citizenship in order to vote in a federal election, citing the National Voter Registration Act. That states must accept the federal registration form, voter registration form, for purposes of registering to vote, and there's no language in the National Voter Registration Act to require such documentation. Accordingly, the only protection against illegals voting is a signature attestation that the person registering is a citizen, which the Supreme Court has deemed sufficient. The Biden administration has ordered every federal agency to register everyone who comes into contact with the agency. So what protections exist to stop the registration of migrants by the Department of Homeland Security? There are myriad left-wing advocacy groups who register illegals to vote. So that's Cleta Mitchell. That's one source of the problem. She goes on to say many states, such as North Carolina and Wisconsin, allow the use of student IDs for voting purposes. Foreign students are issued IDs, thus creating yet another potential pool of illegal voting. And then lastly, the federal statute governing overseas and military voting also does not require proof of citizenship in order to register and cast a vote from overseas. The Uniformed and Overseas Citizen Absentee Voting Act allows persons to essentially register and vote by email without a residence in the United States and without any proof of citizenship. It was intended to facilitate military personnel and families in their voting while deployed. However, in 2020, that vote was 63% civilian. The failure to require proof of citizenship creates yet another pool of potential non-citizen voting. This is all the work of Cleta Mitchell that I'm citing. So what are House Republicans doing to ensure, as best as they can, that these pools of potential illegal voters do not swim to the surface between now and November 5th, or when early voting begins in November 5th? For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Wisconsin Republican Representative Brian Steil, just across the cheddar curtain there in Kenosha. Brian, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, so you know the arguments. I'm sure you're familiar with Cleta Mitchell's concerns. What are we doing to address them?
Yeah, I've talked to Cleta Mitchell a number of times. There's two parallel things that we need to be doing. One, setting forward the policies to actually unwind exactly what we're talking about. So the House is likely to bring up the SAVE Act next week, which actually requires proof of citizenship at the point where you register to vote. That'd be a big step to make sure that only U.S. citizens are participating in U.S. elections, in direct contrast to what the Democrats want in places where they've implemented it, like our nation's capital in Washington, D.C., where non-citizens are currently, under current law, legally eligible to vote, in particular in municipal elections for things like city council. Just to tell you how crazy that is, that means that a individual working, say, at the Russian embassy, residing in Washington, D.C. for only 30 days, is eligible to vote in our nation's capital. I think U.S. citizens should be the only ones who are voting in U.S. elections. Getting that law passed, the SAVE Act, is going to be tough because Biden, of course, is going to say no. So then the question should be, well, what are we going to do if we get blocked by Biden on reforming and changing these laws? That then is actually going after the administrative state. And Biden put forward an executive order that really worked to try to weaponize all of our federal agencies to drive forward a get out the vote effort with a partisan purpose. I have subpoenaed all 15 cabinet secretaries that are involved in this, demanding they provide their strategic plan. And when we get that, if we're able to show, which I think we will, that they're acting with a partisan purpose, we can then go to the courts and get an injunction and block the work of what the Biden administration is doing. It's a fight to get their strategic plan, and that's why I subpoenaed those cabinet secretaries.
What about any evidence or anything you've heard that there may be evidence, as Cleta Mitchell suggested, that you have third-party advocacy groups registering illegal immigrants to vote? You have potentially agencies that are interacting with illegal immigrants, and they could be, we don't know, I don't know, they could be registering them to vote. What about just sort of the exposing anything like that may be going on? That may be more fruitful than trying to, move legislation given the timeline.
Yeah, you're spot on. I held a hearing on this on my committee that I chair, the Committee on House Administration, and we brought in experts on this exact topic. And what we saw is that non-citizens, both legal and illegal, but non-citizens were on the voter rolls in states like Ohio, where they had to be removed. We had instances and problems in places like Pennsylvania, where they labeled it a glitch. And in Washington, D.C., non-citizens are legally eligible to vote in municipal elections. And so we're calling this out to make sure people understand the risk that we have inside of our system, which lacks the proper checks to make sure that U.S. elections are only for U.S. citizens.
Well, will we be fine November 5th? Is it going to, your efforts, are they going to be completed by then?
I mean, this is going to be a game of whack-a-mole with the Democrats, unfortunately. But this is where we have to use every tool in the toolkit to secure this election, to make sure people have confidence in it, that there is integrity in the upcoming election. Every state is going to be, at some level, a little bit different in this situation. And that's where in places like Wisconsin, we're working aggressively to make sure that our voter rolls are prepared for this November's election so that President Trump can be elected President of the United States. But it's going to be an all-of-the-above approach, working at the state level and the federal level, and ultimately, at the end of the day, policy changes to actually get the laws right on the books.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing and your focus on Wisconsin, not just because you represent there, but also because it's an important swing state. So this is not a one-man job. And when we were talking about this a bit earlier in the wake of what Biden did yesterday, the point we were discussing is there enough attention being paid to this by the RNC, by the Trump campaign, and to the extent that you feel like you're not going to be able to close all of the open doors, to make this public, what the Republican Party and the Trump campaign is actually doing, the sort of manpower they have, the understanding they have of where the vulnerabilities are. So at least you send a message to anybody that would be planning any sort of election skullduggery that there's a good chance you'll get caught if you do something that runs afoul of the law, and we're going to hammer people who do something that runs afoul of the law, just to at least try to attempt to have a chilling effect in addition to whatever else you can do with a ballot integrity program.
Chairman Whatley of the RNC, Laura Trump, the two co-chairs of the RNC, and President Trump are laser focused on this. I was with President Trump yesterday at the rally in Racine, and before he went on, he and I spoke about my work on this exact topic. He is laser focused on this to make sure that we have an election that has the integrity that we need so people have confidence in it. And so the RNC is running a robust operation. We are aggressive on this. We're working hand in glove. But like you said, it's making sure every door is closed, shining a light on it. That's where programs like yours is so important, to get the word out about the work that we're doing, because at the end of the day, we're going to have to hold people accountable if they abuse the system.
Brian Stile is a Republican congressman from Wisconsin's 1st Congressional District, the greater Kenosha area. Brian, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I work for the New York City Fire Department. I've been using Balance of Nature for 8 years, I believe. It's been phenomenal. and I just got retired after 33 years. I work long hours, a lot of overtime. I teach at the Fire Academy. I run with the mornings. I work out all the time. And your product has been so successful for me in my regiment. I have nothing but high praise for you guys.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
All right. Are you not able to enjoy this magic of summer as much as you did before because of joint pain? Well, this is the best time for being outdoors, but not if your knees, shoulders, back, or hips are hurting. Don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here from our good friends at QC Kinetics. Call them today. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. We're talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, no steroids, no downtime. This is how it works. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue so you can walk and run, play golf, play pickleball, move, get your life back. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of former orthopedic surgeon Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. Now, their advanced protocols have enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility, including elite athletes. So stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Let's do this. QC Kinetics, call them for a free consultation. They will walk you through the process. Again, no charge at all. If you walk through that door, they'll explain how it works. They have new locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. They are open on Saturdays, too. And their number, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
BP's Whiting Refinery is hosting a community night on Thursday, June 20th from 3 to 7 p.m. Come learn more about how an oil refinery works, products made, and the people who make it run. There will be food, fire trucks, and STEM activities for kids. It's the Whiting Refinery Community Night, Thursday, June 20th from 3 to 7 at the Mascot Hall of Fame, 1851 Front Street in Whiting.
It's your life, your legacy. Shouldn't it be your choice? For nearly 2 centuries, Catholic Cemetery Chicago has been a haven for families, offering sacred spaces to honor these legacies. Take an active role by pre-planning your final arrangements. Alleviate your loved ones a future financial burden. Lock in today's prices and take advantage of no interest payments and no hidden fees. Visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org or call 708-236-5490 to schedule a free consultation today.
AM 560, The Answer.
Will you accept the results of the election? Will you accept the results of the election? Will you accept the results of the election? That's basically a summary of Meet the Press every Sunday morning.
They ask every guest that, even if it doesn't pertain to them.
So
Like they're just a janitor, what?
So just a little fun flashback. 2016, after Trump wins.
Yeah, and everyone was screaming.
And before you have the certification. Trying to interrupt or influence an official proceeding, one might argue. All these Hollywood actors, Martin Sheen, Deborah Messing, Noah Wiley, James Cromwell, Bob Odenkirk, I'm sorry to say. Better Call Saul. How embarrassing for him.
Republican members of the Electoral College, this message is for you. As you know, our founding fathers built the Electoral College to safeguard the American people from the dangers of a demagogue and to ensure that the presidency only goes to someone who is, to an eminent degree, endowed with the requisite qualifications.
An eminent degree. Someone who is highly qualified for the job.
Deborah Messing.
The Electoral College was created specifically to prevent an unfit candidate from becoming president.
There are 538 members of the Electoral College. You
and just 36 other conscientious Republican electors can make a difference.
By voting your conscience on December 19th.
And thereby shaping the future of our nation.
I'm not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton.
I'm not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton.
I'm not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton.
As you know, the Constitution gives electors the right to vote for any eligible person.
Any eligible person, no matter which party they belong to.
But it should certainly be someone you consider especially competent.
Especially competent to serve as President of the United States of America.
By voting your conscience, you and other brave Republican electors can give the House of Representatives the option to select a qualified candidate for the presidency.
I stand with you.
I stand with you.
I stand
with you.
I stand with you in support and solidarity with conservatives, independents, and liberals.
And all citizens of the United States.
The American people trust that your voice speaks for us all.
And that you will make yourself heard through the constitutional responsibility granted to you by Alexander Hamilton himself.
What is evident is that Donald Trump lacks more than the qualifications to be president.
He lacks the necessary stability.
And clearly the respect for the Constitution of our great nation.
Yeah. Well, you had a chance to be a hero, Republican electors. Hollywood appeals to Republican electors. I stand with you to overturn the 2016 election. Oh, good times in 2016.
Oh, thank you for bringing that. Thanks to Justin Kosick and Quinn McCarthy as well. We'll see you tomorrow morning. It's now 9 a.m. WIND Chicago.
A Russia and North Korea alliance. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The two American adversaries